This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, it's an all-out kaiju battle as we celebrate 70 years of Godzilla. John Bellotti Jr. joins us as we pit 34 Godzilla movies against each other to fight it out for the top spot in our great Godzilla movie tournament. Find out who wins, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, January 1st, 2024.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Why? I don't know.
Check one. All right, this is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, what's up, listener? Thanks for pressing play and welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And he's back, everybody. It's Rugzilla back from the homeland. What's up, Rugs?
I'm good. I'm back from Romania.
Romania or Planet X, wherever you were.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure.
Welcome back. They let you out of customs. Glad to see it.
Yeah.
And since we got a very special episode opening up 2024, we have a very special guest. You know him. You love him. It's John Robo-Balls Bellotti.
Robo-Balls. Yes, it's me,
How's it going,
He
Bellotti?
has robotic balls.
I do have very robotic mechanical balls.
He has 7 of them. Yeah.
7 balls. When you put them all together, you can make any wish you want.
Yes.
A giant dragon comes out of my balls.
With that combined with the detachable penis, and it's like, I mean, what more do you need?
I'm great. Thanks for inviting me onto this tournament. I was not. We've talked about this, but I was like, this is never going to happen. So I'm really excited this is happening. So thank you guys.
It's happening, and I'm gonna turn it over to Anthony to explain what exactly is happening, Anthony.
Well, if you haven't looked at the title of the show, we are doing a Godzilla tournament. And I figured we'd do a Godzilla. We usually have Bellotti on, although we say we always have him on at the end of the year to do the end of year recap. I don't think we've been doing that the last couple of years.
We have not. We just kind of.
No, we don't want to relive the past couple of years.
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
we really haven't had much to relive anyways. So, but we wanted to bring back Bellotti, and I felt like if there was ever a year of Godzilla, this is the year.
Yeah.
With Godzilla -1 coming out, and there's 34 live action movies. So I said, let's just do a tournament with all of them.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I do appreciate you because this is kind of like the yearly tradition, like the U-Log is when we do our recap. But superhero movies have not really been that good.
I want to forget about this year's.
No,
But yes, go on.
This tournament's going to be a little different in that Imran is hosting the tournament.
Yeah.
I will be participating because I am a Godzilla fan. Imran hasn't seen all the Godzilla movies.
Correct.
So Imran's hosting. Same format as usual, single elimination. We have 34 teams or movies in this one. The rankings are 1 through 34 based on the letterboxed rankings. And for the tourney, the only rule if a movie gets 2 votes, it moves on to the next round. If you've seen the Japanese version of the movie, that is the version that you will grade. But if you have not seen the Japanese version, then you can default to the American version. For your
So if you've seen them both, you have to go by the Japanese version.
go by the Japanese version.
All
But
right.
if you've not seen them both, then you can default to the American.
I would like to say that this is the first of its kind. I don't think anyone's done this
Has
before.
anybody ever done this on a podcast? Come on, somebody.
Godzilla
must.
tournament? I don't know if
Yeah,
I listened to a bunch. I haven't really. No,
No, this is where we are in uncharted territories,
Pioneers.
folks.
I hope so.
Podcast pioneers. There's
We're the
rules.
Lewis and Clark of podcasts.
We are
There's 4
swimming
of
through
us.
the creek. Keep paddling, you fuckers. We're not there yet.
Wipe out the natives. Oh, wait a minute.
What? But
We're going to wipe out all the Japanese.
Before we begin, there's the setup. There's the tournament. Bellotti, I promised you get a shout out at the beginning of the episode here.
Oh, thank you. I just want to give a warm Bellotti shout out to my boys, my people, Latino Heat in the Jock and Nerd Nation. La vida, la raza. Mi bicho es grande. What else do I? Coquito, mofongo. In fact, for Christmas Eve, we went out to this great Puerto Rican restaurant called Sofrito, in Manhattan. I got mofongo and I had yuca fries and my wife had some panil.
Oh, it sounds yummy.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Jeez.
I was so starched out from all the root vegetables in the first 5 minutes of my meal. I just like died at the table. My mother-in-law's talking to me. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Sure.
I mean, our nation is pretty rich in the Latino culture.
Yeah,
We are amassing an army,
Yes,
if you want to say.
Yeah.
rise up together.
The Latinos
Right.
are hardworking people, and I have nothing but respect and admiration for all 5 trillion of them here in this
And
country.
Jock and Nerds built up quite a following in the Latin community. So,
And they're fucking funny.
Yes, they're hilarious.
and they've taken to the nickname so eloquently and so gracefully.
Yeah, thank you guys for turning my my hilarious
Offhanded comment.
offhanded racism into it. But I'm glad you guys got
But
the
that's
reference.
what we do.
Yeah.
We do it like the 90s.
We're building community
Do it
here.
like Jock and Nerd podcast. We do it like the 90s.
Yeah.
doing it like the 90s.
It's racist, but everybody likes it.
Doing it like the 90s since 2015. I think
The
that
black
should be
guy
the
gets
new
killed first.
slogan.
Yeah.
The woman's
Also, another
helpless.
reason for the Godzilla tourney. What is it? 70 years now.
70 years, 34 movies.
Well, no, this
What?
year,
2024.
2024. Yes, literally
Yeah,
today.
70 years.
70 years. So
So,
good job, Anthony.
Only 30 more years till he's public domain.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
Oh,
now
wow.
get
What's
the
100
license.
years? Is that what it is?
95 years now.
95 years.
95 years. So, yeah, first Godzilla coming out in 1954.
Then you can have Mickey Mouse fucking Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. It could be zombie Mickey Mouse, fucking like any kind of Godzilla you want.
Oh,
And they
wow.
can't sue you. You can get away with it. All right, Anthony, first of all, I'm
Yes.
glad you get to participate. You did a great job hosting all our
Me too.
previous tournaments. If the listener hasn't checked out our 80s action movie tournament, 90s action movie tournament, 21st century action movie tournament, those are fun to do. So now,
And then all of those combined into one tournament.
oh yeah, then we had the large big tournament and we had a sci-fi draft, a lot of fun things to check out in the feed. But we are going to begin the All Out Monsters Godzilla all-time movie tournament. We're going to start it like this.
Nice. Good choice.
Finally, Imrod came prepared.
Wow. From Multiverse Godzilla 1964, my favorite version of the song. Wow. With my least favorite roar.
Usually this always goes, we do the show, and then right about 20 minutes in, Ruggs goes, can you like get some music or something?
Yeah,
like
no, I
pump
came
us up?
prepared. I'm going to reuse some of these stingers. Let us begin. We have 34 movies. That means we got 2 play-in rounds over
Yes.
on the outside there. So we are going to start with you, Anthony.
Oh,
Since
yeah.
you never got to participate, we're starting with you with the
Oh
first
my God,
choice.
I don't know what to do.
Right? Get excited.
No,
What do you
time
do
now.
in this position?
here's the first
Do I
play-in
pick a movie?
matchup. Yes,
He's a
you're gonna
virgin.
pick a movie. It might be easy, might be hard. Let's
Which
find
way do you
out.
put the condom on?
First, yes, make sure it's not
came
inside
off.
out.
I don't think it's on the right way.
No, it's too far down. You got to put it up
no.
a little
Can
bit.
you practice
I lost it. I
one.
don't know where it went. It flew across the room.
It's still on the
Oh,
banana.
I lost it in my butthole. What?
Oh, what?
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, sorry.
Ooh,
Anyways,
Jesus.
these are seeded by Letterboxd, you said, right?
Letterbox rankings, correct.
Okay. First play-in matchup is this. The 33rd seed, Godzilla 1998, versus the 32nd seed, which is Godzilla Raids Again.
And for future reference, Imran, do the lower seed first, but that's okay.
Wait, lower meaning the lower
No,
number. I thought you meant the other
number
way around.
that's lower, so you would have done 32.
Shit, I thought you meant
It's
the other
okay.
way around. Okay, I will correct it.
Whoa, Raids Again is lower than 98?
32 is Raids Again. 33 is 98. So
Oh,
meaning
okay.
meaning 98's worse movie than Raids.
Okay, good. Okay, I got numbers there.
Wow. So I've never participated. So there might be some times here where I wax poetically about different
Sure.
movies because I've never got to do this.
Wow.
Godzilla Raids Again versus Godzilla 1998. So Godzilla Raids Again I like Godzilla Raids Again. I think it's a fun movie. I think when you compare it to the original Godzilla, obviously that's where a lot of the disappointment lies, is because it's the follow-up to an all-time classic. 98 I saw in the theater as a kid and I liked it. Then I got older and I realized, oh, this is not Godzilla at all. I thought it was really lame, even in 98, that he gets killed with like missiles on a bridge. And I was like, where's his breath? So this pick for me is pretty easy. I'm going to go with Godzilla Raids Again.
Raids Again, the second Godzilla movie made,
Ever.
goes up one. Let's move. Let's just go to our guest, John Bellotti.
Let's
Godzilla.
see.
Godzilla 98 versus Godzilla Raids Again.
I know I'm thinking about this. This is a really hard choice. Raids Again. Come on.
Oh, okay.
That's not even like, I'll like try to, I can't even hate watch 98. Like I'll put it on just to hate watch it like I do with X-Men Origins Wolverine. And I can't even get through the hate watch. Like that's how much I fucking hate that movie.
If it like comes on the TV, are you changing the channel?
Yeah, like it'll come on the Godzilla channel on Pluto and I'll put it on. I'm like, let me see. And then I can't fucking do it.
Size does matter.
It
Remember that tagline for that movie?
Yeah.
Subversive. So Godzilla Raids Again moves on. 2-0. Here's your other play-in round. This one goes to Rugs. You get first pick here. We have 31, Son of Godzilla, going up against 34, All Monsters Attack, Rugs.
Whoa. These are, wow.
That's
you got, Jesus. You got the one, they're both Manila-centric or Minya-centric, right? You got one with about a kid hiding out in a freaking factory and having like daydreams about this bully and him being Minya. And then you got the other one is Godzilla, and you got a hot chick in that one. And she's in a bikini or something I remember.
Sort of.
Yeah, she's in like some kind of like garb. Yeah. No, she's in like a native garb or something.
Yeah.
It's like a tunic almost.
Yeah. And Godzilla's like he's like the daddy Godzilla, the ugly suit.
Looks like actor Paul Sorvino from Goodfellas.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's the best way to
I'm going to
describe
go with
it.
Son of Godzilla. I think it's a better movie, yes.
Oh, locking it in.
Because the other one's just a clip movie, pretty much.
Okay. Let us take this over to Anthony.
Oh, my God.
You get to pick a Godzilla movie. Son of Godzilla versus All Monsters Attack.
Worse than Godzilla 1998, I hate All Monsters Attack.
Oh, really?
It's a lame movie. It's also mostly stock footage. Nothing you're seeing is actually even happening. It's all in the kid's fucking mind. Son of Godzilla, you'd have the ugly suit. I mean, you get the Kamerkus and Kumunga, and then it ends with like him hugging him in the snow, which is like really cute and like kind of heartwarming. Son of Godzilla, all the way.
Oh, Son of Godzilla moves on. 2-0, and no problem there. Okay, well, that gives us our 32. We are going to start the 32 bracket like this. Bilotti.
Yeah.
This one's going to you.
Nice.
Number 1 seed, Godzilla -1, versus the 32 seed, just picked Godzilla Raids Again. What are you going to do?
That's not.
Think about this one.
Do I really need to? It's -1 by like 6,000 miles. It's not to say Raids Again is bad. In fact, I do enjoy the monster battle in it because they fucked up. When they film those fight scenes, that's the actual speed they're in. But they messed up with the. I think they call it the undercrank the film or the camera, but they didn't do that for this movie. So Tsuburaya was like really pissed off. Like to this day, I know like it's like a dark spot for Toho because they fucked that up.
Was it slower than he?
No, it was faster.
It was too fast.
If you ever watch behind the scenes, it looks like a Jackie Chan movie. It moves so fast.
So it's like a sped up old timey movie.
Yeah, so they have to like slow it down when they like replay it, and they didn't do it. But that's why the fight scene's so unique. And I love the winter setting, but they tried to like redo the love triangle again from the first movie, and it was cool the way they ended the film. That was kind of neat. But no, -1 all the way.
Right on. Let's go. I guess we go to Rugs. Whoever I go to, I feel like I know how this is going to play out. Rugs. Godzilla -1. Godzilla Raids Again. Yes, -1.
Over Raids Again. Raids Again's good.
Win. Yeah.
But I think you can't, -1's too good to like, to put it over. So,
yeah.
All right.
One thing about Raids Again, I actually think with this fight scene sped up, it makes the monsters look more like feral.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I agree 100%. I didn't want to just say like, -1 and fuck Raids Again because it does have its merits. I don't think it should be rated as low as it is overall, but whatever. The fans are the fans.
All right, Ruggs. Since that was an easy one, this one's coming to you. You didn't get to go first yet. You're going to get the first pick here. Number 16, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. Going up against 17 seed Godzilla versus Mothra from 1992.
Ooh, that's a tough matchup.
Wow.
Why is this such a tough match?
So
Not my
Godzilla-
opinion, but go ahead.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2, they're both the Heisei era versions that we're talking about, right?
Yes, yes.
I love Godzilla versus. I like anything with Mechagodzilla over Mothra. Like, I don't really like Mothra that much as far as a lone adversary for Godzilla. Like, he just gets, like, they just bukkake him with, like, the webbing and throw him in the water every time. So, it's like, that's what it is. It's just a big bukkake film. Mechagodzilla, like, even though this suit is not the greatest, it's still kind of cool, like how he's like a transformer and he like bonds with another thing like Voltron. He kills Godzilla, like he kills him. And he shoots him in the ass, you know?
Shot me in the ass.
And then you got like the first appearance of Junior. You got someone flying on a fucking motorcycle that looks like a weird contraption.
The Pteranodon, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. I really have a lot of fun with it. I saw it. This is the first Heisei movie that I saw in the theater. I saw it at the Rialto Theater in New Jersey. There was like a big, there used to be a website that was like a Godzilla website that was really popular. I can't remember what the name of it is offhand right now, but they got this movie and in the 90s or something, and they made a premiere, and I went to it. So I saw it in the theater.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it's always got a big, strong spot for me. It's like one of my favorites. It's always in my top 10.
I know you're a Mechagodzilla fan.
And I love Mechagodzilla.
Yeah,
that's right.
much I know.
So I'm going to go with that one.
Okay, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2 gets a vote. Anthony, I'm going to give it to you because you made a noise when you heard this.
I did.
You went oof. Godzilla versus Mothra 92 versus
I
Godzilla
do think this is a tough
Mechagodzilla.
matchup. Fun fact, Godzilla versus Mothra from 92 was the most popular Heisei movie released in Japan. It sold the most tickets.
Oh.
I like Godzilla versus Mothra. I like the addition of Batra. I like that Godzilla's kind of this wild card in the movie where it's like Mothra is the good person, Batra's the bad, and then it's like, and now we have Godzilla. Like, what is going to happen? It's like a nice little like three-way battle, but doesn't really end up being a three-way battle at the end. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. I have a quick little aside on this. So, as a kid, I had heard that Godzilla versus Space Godzilla had come out, and I hadn't seen the only Heisei movies I'd seen were 85 and Biollante. I didn't even know the other ones existed, but I'd heard on the news that Space Godzilla came out. So my dad like found a way to buy the old movies, but he bought Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2.
Oh.
And on the title of the box, it said Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. And I thought to myself, oh, I've already seen Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Fuck it, I'll watch it again. I throw it on, and all of a sudden the screen opens with them building Mechagodzilla, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, what is this?
Godzilla versus Space Godzilla? What am I watching here? And it went like, dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, and there was that opening score, and I loved this movie.
Wow.
I connected with this movie so much because I thought I was getting Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and then I didn't know what I was watching, and then I realized, oh, this is a different Mechagodzilla. And yeah, you got Rodan in this movie, you got Godzilla getting basically killed, Rodan sacrificing himself for Godzilla,
Whoa.
Godzilla powering up to like Super Saiyan Godzilla and finally shooting orange breath, which is the first time I think we see it. So my pick is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
They do a callback in King of the Monsters. They do that with Mothra.
Yes,
where Mothra dies and they powers up. So that's where where they got that from.
Yep.
In King of the Monsters, the Monsterverse movie.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. Moving on. Easy victory there, Bilotti. Here's your matchup. Number 9. Mothra versus Godzilla versus the 24-seeded Godzilla versus Gigan.
That's an easy one. Mothra versus Godzilla.
Mothra versus Godzilla.
By far, my favorite. My favorite Godzilla design. One of my favorite, probably my favorite Godzilla movie. Definitely my favorite Showa film. Easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Ruggs, let's go to you. Mothra versus Godzilla. Godzilla versus Gigan. What are you doing?
One is clearly an originator and has high quality everything's high quality in
Which one?
the Mothra movie.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
In Gigan, they're reusing a lot of footage. They're doing a lot of weird shit, but Godzilla bleeds in that one. And it's pretty badass, even though it's like it's a fun movie. But I'm going to go quality wise. I'm going to go along with John Bellotti and go with Mothra versus Godzilla.
Mothra versus Godzilla, big winner. They made Godzilla bleed his own blood.
Do you have anything to add, Anthony?
Nobody does that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right pick. Godzilla versus Gigan, though, it does get pretty brutal. Godzilla's bleeding out of like his nose, and like he gets drilled, and
Anguirus
gets,
he starts bleeding.
And Anguirus, there's something going on out there. Like
they make him talk. Yeah,
like Macho Man.
You gotta look out there.
Godzilla
So I don't forget what the hell they
talks?
say to each other. Something's going on. There's trouble.
There's a doings that transpiring.
is that the one with the big Godzilla?
Yes.
theme park?
Godzilla Tower. Yeah.
Godzilla
And there's
theme
like
park.
a guy, the cartoonist, in there.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
So
then there's like
that's
an
got a lot of
alien
fun
race
stuff.
that built it. Or I
They're
don't know what.
cockroaches.
Cockroaches.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think with a bigger budget and less stock footage, that movie could have been much better, and like a lot more editing for the last battle, because it's basically just like a wrestling match at the end
Oh,
Yeah.
it's tag team. Yeah.
with Godzilla doing most of the heavy lifting.
Is that the only time he talks in any of these movies?
Yes.
Wow. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's a good movie, though. I enjoy that one. But,
Well,
the better
can I-
movie is...
I don't even know why I'm explaining this, but as a really quick aside, all the Godzilla movies from All Monsters Attack to Terror of Mechagodzilla were made for something called the Champion Matsuri Festival. So these were just films made for this festival specifically in Japan that was geared towards children. So that's why the budgets were smaller. The film industry was kind of hurting in the late 60s anyway. And these movies weren't really meant for like worldwide release. So that's why you have two camps of Godzilla fans that love the 60s stuff, and people are like, but I just love the 70s stuff. Because that's why those movies are sort of structured the way they are.
Just to keep the studio working to do something.
Yeah, just to keep them in the game. I mean, that's why Hidora is such a black sheep of the Godzilla films, because when they made the movie, the producer was in a hospital, and when he came out and saw it, he was like, that's never going to happen again.
So speaking of which, that takes us to our next matchup. Anthony, I'm giving you the first pick. Number 8, Godzilla versus Hidora.
Yes.
Otherwise, Godzilla versus Smog Monster, right?
Yes.
It's the one movie I've seen. We've reviewed it. This is going up against the 25 seed Ibira Horror of the Deep. A strange
Anthony,
title.
That's a favorite. That's an Anthony favorite, I think.
This title confuses me. This is a Godzilla movie, but by the title, you wouldn't really know it.
Or called and released in America, Godzilla versus the Sea Monster.
Oh, so
That's what I saw.
I call it Godzilla Goes to Red Lobster.
So Sea Monster versus Smog Monster is what's happening here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Godzilla versus Hidora. This is a movie, we reviewed it.
I enjoyed it.
This is a movie that I like was very elusive for me. It was tough for me to find as a kid. I don't know if it was just like wasn't played all that often. Maybe they didn't release it in here, or maybe it was tough to see because Japan wasn't happy with it, based on what Bellotti said. I don't know, but it was a tough movie for me to find. Once I seeked it out and saw it as a kid, I loved it. When we reviewed it as adults, I was like, "Holy shit, this movie's it's weird, but it's also like not that good in my opinion." There's a lot of weird editing.
Psychedelic as fuck.
It's a really trippy movie.
I love it.
Ibra Horror of the Deep, quick aside on this one, is the first Godzilla movie I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
I was at Toys R Us. We had already checked out, and we were about to leave when I was with my aunts, and I saw this cover for Godzilla versus a Sea Monster, where it was Godzilla on the cover, like drawn like a drawing, and then there was a big like lobster on the cover. I was like, I got to get this movie. So I made my aunts go back into the store to buy it for me. And then I saw Ibra, the Horror of the Deep, and that's the movie that got me into Godzilla. And this is Godzilla acting like King Kong.
Oh, wow.
It was supposed to be King Kong in this movie. So I know this is probably not a popular pick, but I'm going with nostalgia on the movie that got me into it. Ibra Horror of the Deep.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Ooh, this could be an upset. This is very
They play volleyball with each other. Come on.
They play volleyball.
They toss rocks at each other.
It's
and they
like the Top
toss them
Gun.
back and forth.
Top Gun volleyball scene of Godzilla movies. Okay. Ibra was 25 seed gets
that
a
might
vote.
be an upset, but that's my pick.
I'm going to now move this over to Rug Boy.
Oh wow! 'Cause
Godzilla?
I'm in the opposite camp as Anthony.
Okay, great. I'm
The
glad I
Smog
did this.
Monster is huge with me. Very memorable from when I was a kid. I will never forget that little kid in his shorts playing with all those Godzilla toys and me going, where the fuck can I get those?
Right, everyone.
How come-
Yeah, that's what we all said when we were kids.
I'm like, how come like they have toys of things that wreck everything?
yeah.
Yeah, this fucking giant monster comes and she fucks up everything, and we have toys and we play with them. Like, it's just so fucked up. But I wanted those toys. I was like, oh, and I just remember seeing it and like the whole message of the pollution and the mutation and like the visuals of like the mannequin and the sludge and the fucking sludge coming down the stairs going over the cat and them all having weird fish faces in that 70s trippy fucking.
I love the party scene where they're just dancing and
Where they're
there's
dancing
go-go
and
boots.
there's those weird visuals
Yes,
of like
that's
fucking
amazing.
amoebas and shit.
It was great.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that in any other movie. Zero other Godzilla movie's gonna have that shit. So I feel like it's a pioneer, and I think Yoshimitsu Banner got a fucking bad rap, and I fucking love that movie. So I'm gonna go with that. one.
Oh shit! Throwing it into a tie is Ruggs. Listen, you pop some psychedelics. Watch that movie. It's a good time. Bilotti brings us to our first tiebreaker. You got 25 seed Ibra against 8 seed Godzilla versus Hedorah. What are you doing?
Ibra versus Hedorah. That's really not that hard for me.
No.
I sort of what I sound like a like a chihuahua.
You got that Latin in you right
It's
now.
the Heat crew.
No, because we were talking about my people. La vida la raza. Anyway, my pick is Hedorah, and I know it's a very polarizing film, and I know people have more fun with Sea Monster or Ebra. I just feel that when I was a kid, it was a different opinion, but when I got older and I watched Hedorah, I said, this is as fucking dark as the original movie in terms of like my Godzilla is a movie with a metaphor. So like Sea Monster, it's fun and I like it for what it is, but there's no story, like there's no metaphor there. Hedorah, aside from the Godzilla flying scene and some of the more bizarre aspects of the movie, is one of my favorite films.
It's
so
anti-pollution, right? Was there anti-pollution?
So, I mean, it's like
message,
the
sort of?
anti-pollution
Yeah.
film.
There's like people turning into skeletons and
Yeah,
shit.
it's great.
Yeah. Like other movies try to do it, but this one was like literally people melting and fucking guy. I mean, the guy like falls off the building and he just lands his like bones and shit.
Smog Monster moves on. All right, next matchup.
Probably the right pick.
Yeah.
I just went with nostalgia on that one.
you had to show love to Ibra, Anthony.
But you gotta keep it real. Whatever you like is what you like. No one can shame you about it.
Bilotti, you're getting first pick after making that tiebreaker. Here you
Okay.
go. Number 5 seed GMK Giant Monsters All Out Attack, going up against 28 seed Godzilla versus Megaguirus. Megaguirus? How you say that?
2 Millennium
Big
films.
Gears, yeah.
2 Millennium films. Okay, interesting.
The only thing Mega Gears has over GMK is the score, because the woman that scored that movie, Michiru Oshima, did an amazing new alternate Godzilla score that I fucking adore it. Some people don't, but I absolutely love it. And I always wish that score was in GMK. And GMK is not a perfect film. It definitely has its problems more towards the end. Obviously, my pick is GMK, but
Alrighty.
Mega Gyrus, like I said, it was the first movie to introduce that score. And I really want to just highlight that aspect of the film. And it just seemed like a sort of like a throwaway, not a throwaway, but like a pale imitation of Gamera 2 with the insect kaiju and the swarm and stuff like that. But there were cool ideas in it. But yeah, GMK all the way, baby.
GMK, all right. 5 seed gets 1 point. Anthony, we're going to you. Your pick, 5 seed GMK 28.
Millennium films. So
Godzilla
the
versus-
Millennium films I obviously caught later. I had to buy VHSs, but I bought them from Japan. Bought both of these. GMK I was pretty hyped about because at this point I was reading online and I knew that the guy that did the Gamera trilogy from the Heisei era was doing GMK. So this was a time in my Godzilla career where I was reading the forums and like getting hyped because of what other people were saying. Before this, I was never even like, I didn't even know anyone that liked Godzilla. So all my thoughts were all my own thoughts.
Yeah.
Now I could get hyped for Godzilla movies. Megaguirus, I was also pumped about just because I liked how the monster looked. As far as GMK, I like the movie. I think I don't fully connect with the like disembodied spirits inhabiting Godzilla. Like it's much more of a fantastical film rather than a like movie based in as real as it can be with a giant monster. I also didn't like Godzilla's design. I will disagree. I do like GMK's score though. I like that opening.
It's
score.
a good
I think
score. Yeah, it is.
that
a good
opening
score.
intro with like them in the water and then seeing Godzilla's fin like lighting up and them like getting all scared and then the intro hits. I think that's a really good score. Godzilla vs. Megaguirus was not my cup of tea. I think the monster looks good, but it's very Showa era in the way they have them fight. And then you have like this weird blend of CGI and suitimation, and I don't think it fully works in this one. Especially when Megaguirus is like dodging stuff. And the scene for me that really like made me not really like Megaguirus is when Godzilla jumps and then they cut to him like 100 feet in the air, like just like body slamming himself, and it's like
Super
what?
jump.
Why did this is like why are we reverting back to show era stuff? So the couple to me is GMK.
GMK. Megaguirus, you're cut. GMK.
I think you
moves
made
on.
the right choice there.
I think so too.
I think everyone concurs. All right, Ruggs, we're going to go to you. Here
All
we
right.
go. Number 12 seed, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster,
Whoa.
versus 21 seed, King Kong versus Godzilla.
God damn it.
Yeah, this one's painful.
That's a tough one.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've seen Godzilla versus King Kong many times in my youth. It's a rough one for me to watch now
Yeah.
because it's just so ridiculous. Like, I can't believe that you went from like the original two, Godzilla and Godzilla Reigns Again, and then you go to this movie.
In the third movie.
Which is
yeah.
like this ridiculous movie. Godzilla's almost unrecognizable. And you got this silly ass looking King Kong that acts like idiotic. And then the ending is like, you don't even know who wins. But it's still memorable. And what's the other one?
Ghidorah, three-headed monster, comes out.
Because there's two. There's Invasion of the Astro Monster. And there's
This is
No, it's the
yeah.
first one.
this is the one. This is the first one.
1964.
And this is the one where the girl is like comes in and
Possessed.
warns everybody.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a confusing
Oh,
plot
that
line.
girl from Venus. I was watching a little bit of this on the Pluto.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the two,
I don't
and
think
the-
she's become from
and the
possessed
two
by
tiny-
I mean,
Venus.
she's a
two-
good-looking chick.
there's the two tiny women.
She's a James Bond girl.
Yeah, that's right. But I think it's a better movie. I think it's a better film than Godzilla versus Kong. But I think I'm gonna go Godzilla versus Kong against my own
Oh,
better
really?
judgment.
Wow.
Yeah.
21 seed, Kong versus Godzilla
You're-
gets a
you're-
point there.
But you've seen a Japanese version, right?
I seen the Japanese versions of both.
Okay.
I mean, like I think definitely a better made film than Godzilla versus King Kong versus. But I just remember it more. Like it just for some reason sticks with me. I don't know. Does that make it better? I don't know. That's why I'm letting you guys figure it out.
Well,
You know,
All right.
having said that, Bilotti, we're going to you. King Kong versus Godzilla versus Ghidorah, three-headed monster. What are you doing?
I'm going to go with Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
throwing
That is
it
a
into
very.
a tie.
I've overwatched King Kong vs. Godzilla, the American version,
yeah.
and the Japanese version is a lot better. It's a lot more. It's more of a satire. It's actually it is a satire of like corporate Japan at the time and the publicity stunt. Like it's basically this company that pitches the idea of Kong and Godzilla fighting each other.
Yeah.
And so it's a play on that. It's still a hard movie for me to get through. It is kind of boring. Like I watched the Japanese version recently and I'm just like, eh. And I know the Godzilla suit is iconic in that movie, but I'm just not a fan of it. The miniature stuff is amazing, because I don't want to discredit the movie because it's the Tokyo set that Kong walks through is probably one of the best sets they've ever built.
Wow.
But Ghidorah, man, that's like the Avengers of the Godzilla movies.
Yeah. Yeah. You got
I mean,
everybody
that
in
was, yeah, that was, the first time they did that, bringing in like the three iconic monsters together to fight a new one.
yeah, it's a good point. Fuck. All right. Well,
Sorry,
Well,
bro.
you already locked in your vote, Ruggs.
yeah, I know.
Sorry, bro.
All right, so Bilotti's throwing into a tie, gives us our second tiebreaker, Anthony. 21, King Kong versus Godzilla versus 12 seed Ghidorah, three-headed monster.
As a kid, I loved both of these movies. Ghidorah, the three-headed monsters, is Bloody said it. It's the Avengers. You got Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra convincing them, and they're not listening, so she spits her cum all over them, and then they listen.
And you know what the best part? You know what the best part is that they did it exactly like Marvel did it, but in the 60s, where they had their own solo films. They built them up.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't connective tissue between them, which is a little bit weird with the continuity. Like Marvel.
Not only that, Bilotti, but Toho would just reuse the same actors, but have them play different parts in the movies.
Yeah, pretty much. And you're like, wait, what?
You're like, wait a minute. Why is I recognize that face, but he's playing a different character in this movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, Ghidorah, oh, man. Ghidorah is an all-time villain. Godzilla's arch nemesis.
Monster Zero,
Yeah, Monster Zero. That's a tough one. But King Kong versus Godzilla, who doesn't like King? I know that people don't like. It's not that it's a silly movie, King Kong versus Godzilla, but
it's too tight.
Everyone talks about King Kong Godzilla, right? Like, I just remember having that movie on repeat, and the Kong suit sucks. It gets real goofy. They're pro wrestling with each other in that movie.
I think it's just more dynamic because I don't even know why I'm talking. It's not my turn. But
go for it.
But the three-headed monster, it's basically like these heads are not even controlled by anyone, and they don't really do much. They just kind of move around. And King Kong's a dude in a suit that can punch and fight and throw shit.
True.
So it was as a kid, I connected to it more than like even Rodan and Mothra, they just all flying stuff. They can't actually get down.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. That's another reason. Probably
Kong's a brawler, right?
Kong's a brawler. So I think Ruggs also eloquently stated some of what I was thinking there. If I rewatch these again as an adult, I might think Ghidorah is the better movie.
Definitely.
But the pick is King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, no. Wow. 21 seed upset.
Everyone remembers that movie.
Kong versus
It made the most money out of any Godzilla movie in the history of the series.
Moving on.
It's two icons, baby. I know that the suits suck, but it's the two icons.
I'm not.
That's all we had.
Yeah.
That might be our Cinderella story is Kong versus Godzilla.
It's the Roadhouse.
I don't know if it's going to go that far, but
I think
it's two upsets so far. This is interesting. All right, Anthony, we're going to stick with you.
Okay.
First pick on this next matchup.
I feel like I'm dropping the ball here. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, let's see if you can fixate with this one. 13 seed, The Return of Godzilla versus the 20th seeded Godzilla Tokyo SOS.
Heisei versus Millennium.
Wow.
We got two eras going up against
Godzilla Tokyo SOS is a really fun movie in my opinion.
It is a very fun movie.
You have a three-way battle again.
Another three-way. Godzilla loves his three-way.
He loves the threesome.
Mothra, you got Mecha Godzilla. Return of Godzilla, I saw that as a kid and I was like, this movie is boring. I thought the movie, I saw 85 first and I was like, Godzilla versus Raymond Burr? That's stupid. Saw that movie, thought it was boring, then watched Return of Godzilla as an adult, and I was like, wow, this is really good. Actually, not even as an adult. As a teen, I thought it was really good. Tokyo SOS is so fun. I think I love the Heisei era, so this is the movie that, shifted Godzilla back to more of the force of nature. There's the continuity. So for all those reasons, I think Return of Godzilla is the better movie.
Return of Godzilla is the pick. Okay. Then that will take it to let's go Bilotti.
Oh, hi.
I'm gonna give you the second pick. 13 seed Return of Godzilla versus 20 seed Godzilla Tokyo SOS.
Well, I just literally watched Godzilla 85 today as I was vegging out from my New Year's celebrations last night, i.e. hanging out at Janine's cousin's house and eating donuts. Anyway, yes. So SOS, I actually saw in the theater. They had the U.S. premiere back in 2003.
Whoa.
And I remember leaving work early. They're like, yo, man, where you going? I'm like, I gotta go see a doctor. And I left and I saw it in Manhattan. And I remember the scene that really got me was when Godzilla appears in Tokyo Bay and they're firing the missiles over the city. And they're just the way they land on him, I never saw anything like that in a Godzilla movie. So that fucking blew me away along with the music. Not a big fan of the suit in that film or the suit before it, but the Kiryu suit's amazing. It is kind of just a remake of the original Mothra and Mothra vs. Godzilla, and the Mechagodzilla. Well, the Mechagodzilla aspect is kind of unique for this film, which is kind of cool. But the whole like life versus artificial life thing they had going with the bones and stuff like that. Toho has that habit of like giving you an idea and not really like pushing it. Although the end, like he grabs Godzilla and they fly into the ocean together, never to be seen again. But my pick is definitely Return of Godzilla by far.
Return.
But I don't like I said, I don't want to discredit SOS because I do like that movie a lot. So that's my pick.
Return moves on. Ruggs, that's got Mechagodzilla in it. Would you have picked that?
I do like that movie a lot, and it's a battle of two of my favorite suits. John does not like that. I think it's a really cool suit, and I also love Return of Godzilla suit. That's like one of my favorites of all time. I like that movie a lot. If I'm gonna go, okay, you're gonna watch a serious Godzilla movie. This is like the first one since like the first one that is serious again.
Which one? SOS was?
No. Return to Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
So Godzilla 85, Return to Godzilla. That's like when they kind of reset and went back to like old school, like 1954, Dread and Doom and him being like evil.
Yeah.
And the other one, Tokyo SOS, it's a lot of fun. It's got Kiryu. I mean, it's a good movie. I really like that one too. But it's a little bit more advanced. Like it's got like some CG in it, blah blah blah, and they use it well. So it's a kind of a toss up, but like I'm gonna go with Return to Godzilla if I had a choice.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
All right, Ruggs.
Both very good. They're both very strong movies.
You're gonna get first pick here. Let's see what happens. Number 4 seed Godzilla versus Destoroyah versus 29 seed Godzilla King of the Monsters, a legendary movie. Our first legendary movie.
Oh God! All right. Well, okay. The King of the Monsters took what Gareth Edwards had set up so perfectly and tried to bring in some of like the Toho Showa stuff into it. And I didn't think he did a fantastic job with it. I think he fumbled it a little bit. I think I give him lots of credit for number one, the creature design and the fact they're including all these monsters and figuring out, but it was like overstuffed. They had all these other monsters and this orca thing and then this family. And it was just all like, there's just a lot of cutting away. Like in the first movie with Gareth Edwards, he cut away a few times and it got annoying. But here it's like, there's times where like an airplane will fly right into the frame as they're just about to fight. And I'm like, why are you doing this? This is the money shot. Yeah. So like, but what's the other movie now?
Godzilla
versus Destoroyah.
Destoroyah.
Destoroyah is just like, you want to know something about Destoroyah that it's a great movie and I really love it, but I don't like the ending before he dies because like Destoroyah gets hit with like one beam and then just falls down and they never like go back to him. They just kind of like forget that he's in the movie.
That's true.
And they just completely shift the focus to Godzilla Meltdown. And I don't think even Godzilla beats him. I think don't the army shoot down Destoroyah?
He's getting his ass kicked and he tries to fly away and then the army shoots him down and then that's it.
Yeah, that was just such a letdown to me. Lame. The build up to that in the movie with like all the little creepy crawly destroyers, the small ones and the spy stuff, it's top notch. It's great. So, but and then all of a sudden he dies, and then the end where you have like the suggestion that Junior has been resurrected with Godzilla's energy, and then the new Godzilla takes hold. I love all that. I love the music for that. I love everything. So I'm gonna go with Destoroyah.
Okay.
Even though King of the Monsters is pretty good, but I think that, I don't know. I feel like that this movie does what it sets out to do a little bit better than King of the Monsters.
Okay, Destoroyah gets 1 point. Anthony, throw it to you. Number 4 seed, Godzilla Destoroyah versus 29, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Godzilla King of the Monsters, I think that gets a lot of hate by the fans. Bad human characters. But the monster designs and like the origins they give them, I think is really, really good. And I think when they actually do fight and throw down, and you can see it,
Yeah.
it's a fucking awesome battle.
Yeah.
When Godzilla battles with King Ghidorah,
Yeah.
and like King Ghidorah bites the lightning and like levels up, and Godzilla levels up, and they do. What's interesting too is both these movies have burning Godzilla, so there's that.
Oh, right. Yeah. Good
Yeah,
point.
Yeah. So King of the Monsters, I still think if you just scroll to the monster battles, I think it's a fun movie. But Godzilla versus Destroyer
Oh,
is a
boy.
fucking all-time great movie.
Oh yeah.
I love Godzilla versus Destroyer. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, the music is legit.
Dun.
And he goes to Tokyo for the first. Not Tokyo. Jesus, Hong Kong for the first
Hong
time.
Kong, the reveal of Super Saiyan King Destroyer when he's dun, dun, and he's fucking gigantic compared to Godzilla, and then the fucking ending. I mean, who doesn't shed a tear during that ending? The pick is Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Nice.
This is a fucking this is a
moves
titan.
on 2-0.
Good
King of
choice.
Monsters also had good soundtrack, by the way. I wanna
It did.
point that out.
They use the King of the Monsters when he shows up and they play Godzilla's March with the planes coming behind him. That's a good. They actually that scene where King Ghidorah is about to kill the lady and then gets blasted by the fire breath out of nowhere. That's from Terra Mechagodzilla.
Oh.
Titanosaurus has that happen to him too.
King of the Monsters has some epic, like, looking shit. That's the one where he sacrifices himself, right? Sorozawa goes down
Sorozawa,
there.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah.
fucking moment in that movie.
Yeah,
I've
there's
seen
a
that
lot of
one.
good stuff in that movie. That's like
Yeah.
it's one of the better ones. Yeah, I would
Good
say.
ideas, good things to see. Not really well put together with the human.
Yeah,
part.
there's just some weakness to it. Overall.
So that's going to take us to half of the 32 bracket.
That's only half.
All right, we're moving over to the other side of the bracket to get to our final 16 people. This one, who didn't get a chance? Let's go Bilotti. Bilotti, you get first
Yo.
pick here.
All right.
Number 3 seed, Shin Godzilla. Not elbow, not knee. Shin Godzilla going up against number 30 seed, Godzilla versus Kong from 2021. Legendary's Godzilla versus Kong.
Wow, that is a
Whoa,
tough one.
This is interesting.
that
I've
is an
seen
interesting
both of
one.
these.
That is really.
Oh my
interesting.
god, this is fantastic.
This is like
This is like the most opposite you're gonna get.
No,
I
what was
think.
that choice we had to make for, and you said it, Rug Boy. Was it the 80s one? It's like, do we
Sophie's
vote?
choice. This is Sophie's choice.
No, it was like, do we vote for taste or
Yes. Quality.
We're talking about.
Yeah, no, this is Raiders versus Roadhouse for sure.
Yeah.
yes, big
Yes.
time,
Oh my
100%, 100%.
Taste versus tasteless.
One is like
Taste
high
versus
art,
tasteless.
and the other one is junk
Yes,
food. Right?
taste versus tasteless.
Taste versus
Exactly.
tasteless.
Um,
You picking junk food? You're picking healthy food. What are you picking?
yeah, pretty much. I don't know if call it healthy. It's like eating a lot of white rice,
Okay. Yes.
bland white
Starchy
rice.
food, or you're picking junk
Eating
food?
a lot of mofongo and all my,
Yeah.
my Puerto Rican root vegetables, or
You eating rooters? You eating
or
fucking
General
chocolate?
Tso's chicken.
Yeah.
Heavily fried.
Yeah.
Horrible for you.
Yeah.
Godzilla vs.
delicious.
Kong does have some amazing fight sequences, and but that's it. That's all it has.
That's all it has.
That's all it has. And Shin
has everything but that.
has everything but that. But it has something to say. You know, if any of you guys ever worked in an office or any sort of corporate environment,
Bureaucracy.
I mean, the fucking Godzilla's literally destroying and morphing into another Godzilla, and they're still talking about what to do. It's kind of
Red
great.
tape. Is, yeah.
Yeah.
But Godzilla's killing people, and we don't know why. What, is that the line?
Where's that from? Is that from King Kong?
Yeah, Godzilla's
yeah.
killing people. We need to know why.
Godzilla studied spiders in the Amazon.
Yeah. He was with my mom in the Amazon. Where
Yeah.
she died.
I'm going to go with, I can't remember saying this, Shin Godzilla.
Oh my God. Okay.
Wow.
Well, it is the number 3
I don't like the
seed.
design, but I also don't like the legendary design either. So
Yeah,
take that as you will. And I'm talking about of Godzilla himself. I'm sorry. Should have clarified that.
Shin Godzilla 1 up. This is interesting. I think I want to go to Anthony
Okay.
to do number 3 Shin
Yeah,
Godzilla
So you
versus
gonna break
30.
hearts?
When I did the bracket and saw this matchup, I went,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot get more opposite. And both of these movies released in the Millennium or Reiwa era, although Godzilla versus Kong, I don't think is considered a Reiwa film.
It's not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've had a love-hate relationship with Shin Godzilla. I liked it when I first saw it, and I didn't like it, and then I saw Godzilla -1. I was like, I hate Shin Godzilla. But now I thought about it some more. And I went, like they had an auteur do the thing, and it was it had something to say. A lot of people really like it. Clearly, it's the number 3 seed. It's a real movie. Godzilla versus Kong is not really a movie. It's just a fun thing that it's like hot garbage, but it's like fun to eat. I love hot Cheetos. I feel like that's the movie.
Hot Cheetos and Takis.
Godzilla vs. Kong kind of brought back people to the theaters.
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla is it's an interesting take on Godzilla. It's a new take. It's an original idea. Shin Godzilla is a better movie.
Oh.
But the pick is Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Oh,
I
my
will watch
God.
Godzilla versus. What is the movie you're going to watch with your friends?
See,
And it's Godzilla versus Kong. So that's my pick.
I'll tell you because this is great because I've seen both of these. We reviewed both of these. This is fucking fascinating. Rugs, you get our next tiebreaker. Shin Godzilla.
I get the tie break?
You get the tiebreaker.
versus Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay,
2021.
well, what do I got to say about these two movies? Well, Shin Godzilla, I went into being dubious because I saw like a little bit of like photos on the internet and blah, blah, blah. I saw the preview and I went into the theater and I was like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it's a piece of shit. And I think it's fucking ugly and dumb and the animation sucks and he sleeps for half the movie. All he does is basically he has one scene that's very well done of fucking him like lighting up the fucking city and walking through it. And that's it.
What about all the versions? All the different versions.
I hate that. I hate that he's evolving like that. I hate that's how we see him at first. I hate that he's made out of nuclear goo.
Yes, he's made out of little things that are crawling over him. It creep the fuck out of me.
I hate everything about Shin Godzilla, but I actually think it's a very good movie. As far as you could put this in for a horror fan, loves Shin Godzilla. Anybody who likes horror and that's their first thing to go,
interesting.
like their first interest is like a horror movie about like horrible shit and like the fear factor and the reality and the verisimilitude of like what's going on with the board meetings and shit like that. A horror fan will eat that up and love this movie, and that's why it brought a lot of horror fans to the fandom.
That's interesting.
So I think it's a legitimate film. Godzilla vs. Kong, the legendary movie, is a piece of shit movie. It's a horrible film. It is fucking. There is no story. It's got
your boy in it though.
If you're going to compare it to anything in Godzilla fandom, it's kind of like these 70s movies, the 70s Showa movies, where like they're just like, fuck it, it's a movie and little kids are gonna like it. It doesn't have to make any sense. Like there's just the fucking people living under, and they have a megalon. They make it gonna kill people, and let's not explain anything. We have a robot that fucking can fly through the air. That's Jet Jaguar. So like they had their own films that made no sense. And those are some of the films that I like. And unfortunately, I like bad movies. And I like this Godzilla versus Kong. I think that the fight scenes is a culmination of what I've wanted to see my whole life. I mean, it's Godzilla kicking ass. It's King Kong fucking jumping from ship to ship, and you know that's impossible. Yeah. Him doing the fucking Die Hard dive as Godzilla blows the shit up. Fucking unbelievable shit.
Mecha Godzilla at the end is awesome.
And then the team up is great, and the axe. It's just all of this shit is ridiculous.
Hollow Earth. Yeah, we got that first Hollow Earth thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that just because.
Shit.
It's a fun movie, and I like it, and I do like the legendary design. And I don't like Shin Godzilla's design as much. I do like it, but not as much.
Big upset. Number 30, Godzilla versus Kong. Moving on.
Wow. Fart sniffers would not be happy with that pick.
Wow.
What'd you say?
I said the fart sniffers would not be happy. The hoity-toity film fans would not like it.
Listen, like, I understand Shin Godzilla is a good movie, but I feel like, I don't know, it's an acquired. It stands apart from all the other Godzilla movies, and I feel like that Godzilla versus Kong actually fits more in with Godzilla as a whole. Like if you look at it in the scheme of the whole fandom of all the movies, like there's more silly Godzilla movies than there are regular ones, right? That are serious.
For what it's worth, if you ask me which movie,
what do you think, Imran?
I would rewatch. I would absolutely would have picked Godzilla versus Kong. Shin Godzilla is like a niche within a niche. It's like so
Yeah,
niche-y,
that's the way to put it in.
right?
It is a very niche movie.
It's like a niche within its own niche, and I'd rather watch Godzilla vs. Kong. Even though it's a dumb fucking movie.
If you've ever seen Anno movies before,
Still, I'm okay with this
Like
upset.
there's a lot of reuse of Anno-isms in there,
yeah,
and so it's like even like predictable on that level.
you gotta like that shit, right? You gotta
What
be
are
ready for that.
Anno-isms? I'm not familiar
Like
with
the
them.
music and like these like the bucolic music, all cutting to bucolic music all of a sudden, like and looking at like scenes of calmness and then those drums and people like all of a sudden scattering and all that stuff and like the inter-office turmoil
too many conference meeting scenes for my taste.
Yeah.
In that movie. All right, Ruggs, that was a tough one, but we'll start with you. Give you the first pick here. Make it easy. We have 19-seeded Invasion of the Astro Monster.
Okay.
Versus, I should have said the other one first. Sorry.
It's okay.
14, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Your favorite versus 19. Now, I was watching Pluto TV today, and I watched a bunch of this Invasion of the Astro Monster. Kind of a fun movie. It's fun if you don't know what Godzilla movie to watch, just throw on the Pluto channel and you don't have to pick. You just watch some random Godzilla movie. It's kind of fun.
I don't even care about the movie. I'm just going to the fight scenes. all right?
Okay.
Because that's what Invasion of the Astro Monster has one of my favorite things, and that's the aliens and
Yes.
those alien suits
The
and that
Xenials.
whole vibe. That's great. That's a very iconic thing.
Godzilla does that like dance gif, the jumping up and down
Yes.
dance thing in that movie.
That's right.
It's great.
But then you got Mechagodzilla with one of my favorite versions of Godzilla, which is the kind of like the I don't know what you call them, Mosugoji, whatever, or Megaro Goji.
Goji? I don't know.
Megaro Goji, is that what they call it? But I love that version of Godzilla too, because I remember when I was a little kid, for some reason I was sympathetic to that scene. He can move around and stuff and whatever. And Mechagodzilla is awesome. The first Mechagodzilla design is fucking awesome. So I feel like it's even better. The Mechagodzilla suit is even better than the King Ghidorah suit by far. It's so crazy. So I'm gonna go with Mechagodzilla.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
I'm always gonna go for Mechagodzilla over King Ghidorah every time. I'll watch a Mechagodzilla movie anytime. And this is the one with King Caesar in it, and they sing a song, Caesar.
Fucking
You
20-minute song.
All right, Godzilla.
And he doesn't even do shit in the movie. He does nothing.
Yeah, there's no point for him in the movie.
No, it's fucking. But I like that movie. It's great.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. 1 point. Let's move
That's
this.
the one with the two Godzillas too. Like, there's like a sequence where he kills Anguirus, and then you see like that he gets like a little bit of his skin ripped off, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's not really Godzilla. Like that, I love that.
I want to know what Anthony thinks. He's getting the second pick. 14, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. 19, Invasion of the Astro Monster. This one's got Ghidorah, Monster Zero. I kind of was digging the story of this, the way like the aliens were like, we need your help, and then it was a trick the whole time.
Send
It was
them
kind
to
of
the
fun.
moon? Is that the moon?
Yeah, or another planet or wherever they were. Planet X. It was Planet X.
Okay. Invasion of the Astro Monster I liked a lot as a kid, but I never really understood why we got King Ghidorah again after King Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Like I
Two
felt like
movies in a row.
I feel like King Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, is the better of these two, and they play out. They're both back to back. You do have the cool aliens. What are they called? Zillions.
The
Exilians,
I thought it was
Xillions.
Xennials. It was kind of funny.
with the weird sunglasses that they wear. Those are fun.
Yeah.
The visors, just the black,
the visor
like,
glasses.
in
They're
their face.
It is a fun movie. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, though, I remember seeing that vividly. I thought the cover of the VHS at Blockbuster was really cool. You had like Godzilla and Mechagodzilla walking towards each other, And then you have the scene where Mechagodzilla fucking destroys Anguirus and makes him bleed and breaks his jaw. And I was like, this is a fucking menace that needs to be stopped.
Wow.
And and then Godzilla looks really cool, and he's got the like sort of the Megalon design, but his eyes are more angry. And they have a really cool fight. And yeah, you're right, Ruggs. The Mechagodzilla design is really cool. You have King Caesar. I think Godzilla bleeds in this one too.
Oh.
The pick for me is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Clean sweep Mechagodzilla. But Astro
King
Monster
Caesar.
has that white guy named Glenn who falls in love with the robot
Yeah,
alien.
that's why I don't like that movie. The white guy in it.
Why is Glenn there? And like, how does he know Japanese? It was very confusing. Anyways, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Damn.
Moving on.
Damn.
King Caesar.
Bellotti, we're gonna start with you. We got 11 seed Godzilla versus King Ghidorah versus 22 seed Godzilla 2000 Millennium. That's the name of the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a shitty matchup, but
Oh,
not
yeah?
because because it's an easy answer. I don't like Godzilla 2000. I know it's beloved by a lot of people. I saw it in the theater when they released it here, but I don't like the design. I don't like the movie. It just looked like it was Toho getting angry at the 98 movie and going, see, we're going to do it our way. It's going to be better. And then you saw it and they're like, wait, that's not better. Like, well, we tried. So my choice is Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah.
Okie dokie.
Doesn't mean it doesn't have its very large flaws in the movie. Like Lieutenant Spielberg, for example. One of the worst fucking things ever. But it's got the greatest Godzilla suit of the modern era, and it's got the greatest Godzilla roar. And yeah, man. I almost got that awesome intro when he lands on Hokkaido and they play that music and it's like remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Godzilla King Ghidorah, one score. Sounds like this is a no-brainer, so let's go to Ruggs.
Are you hoping that I fuck it up?
I don't know. Which would you go?
It's Ghidorah versus what's the other movie?
Godzilla 2000
Millennium.
Oh, I think. Let me talk about Millennium real quick. I don't like that movie. There's too much really bad CGI and really bad compositing. I feel like it's a low point for that kind of filmmaking. You're doing it in response to 1998. The suit is cool, I guess, but I never liked the teeth in that suit. Orga, it doesn't get cool to the very end. Like, Orga's like really lame for the most of the movie until like the very end, and then Godzilla like jumps in his mouth and blows him up from the inside, which is almost like the kiss of death that they do in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the finishing move, but I do think that getting a Mecha King Ghidorah, hey, I love mecha stuff, right?
Yeah.
So and you get to see Godzillasaurus in that King Ghidorah movie. And you got like a Terminator in that movie, right? Don't you have like a Terminator?
Godzillasaurus? Oh, there's a dinosaur Godzilla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do like a little time jumping thing. So I think that's actually a fun movie. And I'm going to go with that one.
All right. 11 seed moves on. Easy pick there. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Moving on. Anthony, let's go to you.
Okay.
Here's your matchup. Number 6 seed. Godzilla versus Biollante.
Okay.
Going up against 27 seed Godzilla versus Megalon.
Wow.
Talk to us about these movies.
These are also two very different movies.
Someone who gasped there. Was that Ruggs? Just
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Godzilla versus Biollante. I love Godzilla versus Biollante for what it's worth. The cover of that VHS with the fucking rose with the mouth on it and Godzilla, and it's just such a nice cover. Biollante, when it turns into his final form or her final form, I mean, that's a fucking menace. That's a terrifying monster. I don't know how Toho built that thing. I don't know what that thing.
A lot of wires.
I don't know what's moving that thing, but that thing is awesome. Now that I think about it, Ruggs, this is actually the first time where Godzilla blows someone up from the inside and does a kiss of death, because Godzilla gets in Biollante's mouth and then blows his.
Oh yeah.
Inside.
Oh okay.
It doesn't. That's not how he stops him.
But he does do it to him.
He does do it to her. Yeah.
Yeah, or her. Biolante's a she, I think.
Yeah.
I think Biolante's female. But I think Biolante's pronouns are she, her. So
We got to get that right.
Godzilla vs. Biollante is awesome. There's a weird like not spy thing, but like terrorist plot too. And then the girl being imbued in the rose. Like it's real sci-fi, but it's taken very seriously. I love Godzilla's design. I just waxed poetically about Biollante. Godzilla vs. Megalon is like the movie most people probably bring up to like make fun of Godzilla. There's like Jet
From the
Jaguar,
70s.
Oh, yeah.
Gigan,
He does a drop kick in that.
does the drop
Oh,
kick.
that's the Dropkick movie. Nice.
Yeah, but as a kid, I thought that
right.
shit was all hilarious and fun. I like Godzilla vs. Megalon
A
too.
lot of monsters in there.
It's a tight movie. It's better.
Yeah, it's good.
one
And
of the
I
better
like
ones.
I like the team up with Jet Jaguar. You got the race that's been living underground for all this time.
Not a lot of stock footage either. For the
No,
most
not
part.
a lot of stock
No.
footage, but the pick is Godzilla vs. Biollante.
Biollante.
Yeah, that's the right pick.
for me.
Biollante. That's the right pick. Bilotti says that means I'm going to Rug Boy. As he gasped. What are you gonna do, Rugs? Number 6, Godzilla vs.
These are two.
Biollante.
Look,
Godzilla vs. Megalon.
it's a toss up here because they're both. You can't lose with either movie. Like,
No.
yeah, some people are going to be like Megalon is the worst movie ever, whatever. But it's fucking fun, and it is great. Godzilla does handshakes. He does fucking drop kicks.
Yeah.
He comes in and he does like a little dance as he's walking. You know, he's the Godzilla. Like if you're like an 8-year-old kid and you watch this movie, you're like all in. No way. Like this shit is awesome. What else? It's got fucking Jet Jaguar. I love Jet Jaguar. I was like always into Jet Jaguar. As a little kid, I thought he was fucking awesome. And yeah, it's one of those unforgettable movies. He has a great song. Punch, punch, punch. You know, at the end of the movie. There's like a little kid and he rides a fucking motorcycle.
But what about Biollante? Did you like that movie?
Biollante is just a serious film. It's a serious sci-fi film. Godzilla fights a giant plant, you know, but it's done so well, and it's great. I think I won't lie. I've seen Megalon like at least like 80 times. And I think I've seen Biollante maybe 3 or 4. You know, that's how many times that
All right,
I've
that's
wanted
telling.
to watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just go for Biollante and let John break this tie.
No, you mean Megalon.
Megalon.
You
Oh,
wanna put it- you wanna put it
Megalon.
in
I'm
time.
gonna go for Megalon
All right.
and let John break the tie.
Biollante seems like the Godzilla version of Little Shop of Horrors. Was that accurate at all?
No, not
the Audrey
really.
too.
No.
All right, Bilotti, you got the tiebreaker. I think we all know which way this is going. What are you picking?
I mean, it's Biollante.
All right,
You kind of knew that. You knew that was coming.
Yeah. Even I knew that was coming.
Hey,
I want to give Megalon like just a little bit of love. That's all.
also Megalon, fun score.
You remember like all the music from these
Oh,
movies.
the music
It's wild.
cues. The
Yeah.
music cues from Godzilla movies are huge.
Yeah, it's all
When-
about the music.
When Jet Jaguar and Godzilla are back to back in the Ring of Fire,
Oh, yeah.
that's fucking badass.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And he
That's all I
flies
have
out.
to say. What an image! It's so cool. It's like a buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
Bilotti, that one was easy. Maybe this one will be harder. First pick as the number 7 seed, Godzilla Final Wars, going up against 26, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
Final Wars is the 7th seed?
It is according to this.
Very popular. Yeah.
I know it is, but God, it makes you question all my life choices. All right, what was it? Final Wars and Space Godzilla?
Final Wars
Final Wars
versus
is
Space Godzilla.
There's no world where I can pick Final Wars over any other
I really
Godzilla.
hate that movie. I know this. You've said this before.
You know, there's things I really like about it too. Because if you watch that movie from beginning to end, it doesn't feel like a Godzilla movie, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Because it's so heavily focused on the human stuff, and they're so inspired by like the X-Men movies at the time and the Matrix.
Oh,
That
really?
yeah, because you don't feel like you're watching a traditional Godzilla movie, and the sets are more futuristic because they hired I can't remember the guy's name, but he did all the illustration design work for the Metal Gear movies, Metal Gear games.
Yeah.
So they hired that guy. So the movie has a very unique look.
It says here like every monster is in this movie.
Yeah, for the most part. Well, they had to be selective. And some of the designs, like the Rodan is great, but the Anguirus kind of sucks because he's got those weird eyes.
Okay.
Kaiser Geeter is awful, but Gigan's badass. Got the chainsaw arms.
Oh, that's the best Gigan I've ever seen.
Yeah. Kamacuras and Kumanga are pretty much just sort of like what they used to look like. But yeah, I mean, it's, what was the other? Space Godzilla?
So your pick is the 26th seed, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
No, it's no, because there's Space Godzilla is the Megalon of the Heisei era,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
But it does have much better human characters. It's got Yuki, the old guy. He's like out for revenge because his buddy got killed in Biollante. He was the colonel, got smashed in a building. So he pilots Mogera just to like fucking get revenge for his friend. But the love story is much better. Like for the Heisei era, like it was a much more fleshed out character film. My pick is going to be Space Godzilla.
Space Godzilla. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I had to talk myself into it, but
Okie dokie. Anthony, I'm going to go to you. We got number 7 versus 26. What are you picking?
Space Godzilla, I mentioned this earlier, but Space Godzilla, somehow on the news, it was on the news that Godzilla was fighting Space Godzilla. And I was like,
On the news?
Yeah, it was like
Saw
on
it.
CNN or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where I saw this.
In 1994.
Yeah, like 94 or 95. And I was like, we got to figure out how to get this movie. My dad pointed it out to me. I was like, we got to figure out how to get this movie. And then we got the movie. And I like fucking Space Godzilla is a cool design with the fucking crystals out of his shoulder. Now, you have an all-time horrible space flying scene where they like have like white balls propped up against like a black board.
Oh,
like,
it's
that's
awful.
what they consider space.
yeah.
Worse than
So
Superman 4, Quest for Peace. Is it that
Oh, it's
bad?
bad. Yeah, I mean, you watch it and you'll question filmmaking when you see that scene.
Oh, these crystals are cool, though.
The Space Godzilla, you're right. It is kind of like it gets very Showa era-y in terms of like you have like baby Godzilla kind of looks like Minya, and then you have him getting captured, and then Godzilla's like clearly the protect. Like everyone's rooting for Godzilla in this one. Like he becomes a hero. Godzilla Final Wars. I went to Blockbuster probably 5 or 6 times to try to get a copy of this movie. Every time I was there, someone had rented the fucking DVD, and I was so mad. And then I plopped that DVD in, and you've got like a Sum 41 track in this. You've got Don Fry. It is a freaking wacky movie. Lot going on, a lot of monsters.
2004. Yeah.
Ultimately, I actually was kind of disappointed in Final Wars. I bet I would have really loved it as a kid. As a teenager, I was like, I don't know if I like this. And I felt like they were like killing all the monsters so quickly, and I don't know. So, although Space Godzilla is not the best of the Heisei era films, I still would pick that over Final Wars.
Holy shit, that is a
Space Godzilla.
2-0 upset.
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Space Godzilla beating Final Wars. Moving on. 26 seed. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
All right, who's going first? Ruggs, you're going to go first.
Okay.
10 seed. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
Versus 23 seed. Godzilla 2014.
Oh. Wow.
I've seen 2014. Talk to me about Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.
Well, this is the one where they bust out Kiryu for the first time, and Kiryu is made out of Godzilla's bones.
Oh,
so the old Godzilla's bones, they dug them up and they put together this robot, and it becomes possessed by the soul of Godzilla. So when they try to operate it, he goes rogue.
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
And so Godzilla steps up, and they have like this fucking crazy fight in the city, and there's Dragon Godzilla around, and it's pretty dope. It's a good movie.
All right.
And I think, is this the one with the female pilot that's trying to prove herself?
Yeah.
Is that the second one?
No, it's a 7. This one.
Yeah. So she's kind of an interesting, like, moody character. She's like all like serious and shit. And like she has like a cause and everything, and people are trying to get close to her, and she's just like, fuck you, this is my job. So it was a pretty serious film. Now 2014, I went in and I was disappointed when I saw it because there was such little Godzilla screen time, and I couldn't get past the fact that they dropped Bryan Cranston like right when I was really into him, then switched to characters and followed like the son. And if they would have maybe shaved maybe a few minutes off that movie, stuck with Bryan Cranston, and not cut away that second time when they, had the fight scene with the flying Muto, I think it would have been one of the top films of all time. Because that last 20 minutes when they're fighting in San Francisco is fucking amazing. It's probably the best that Godzilla has ever been done fighting. Because Godzilla versus Kong is kind of like exaggerated. They're like fighting, but it's not, there's no sense of reality. It's kind of like a wrestling match. Like it's very theatrical.
It's like, it becomes cartoony, right? There's no physics to it.
Yeah. This one has a lot more physics, a lot more weight to it, a lot more scale. And you just feel like, I mean, it is a little dark. I wish that they would maybe brighten it up or something a little bit more so you could see more of what's going on. But, and even though the Mutos are kind of like a boring villain, and they still managed to make new Godzilla villains that we haven't seen before. And they kind of gave him a challenge. They double teamed him. And then when he powers up that breath that first time, it's fucking, that whole build up to that is amazing. And then finally when he does the kiss of death and they have a and then he roars.
That's where Monarch starts in that movie too, right? This is
they give us a Monarch.
Yeah.
And they give a Godzilla a different origin that's not nuclear. But it's kind of still tied to Godzilla because Godzilla always existed. In -1, he already existed.
Right.
And in the original 54, he already existed as the sea monster.
Yeah.
So now this just kind of does a different thing. He's not pissed at the world for creating nuclear energy. In fact, he likes to eat it. He snacks on it.
All right. Well, what are you picking then?
2014.
Oh shit. Okay. You are picking 2014. Okay, Bilotti, I know how you feel about these legendary pictures, so I'm going to move this over to you. 10 seed Godzilla against Mechagodzilla versus 23 seed Godzilla 2014.
Well, as far as the legendary stuff goes, 14 is the best one. It's widely regarded as the best attempt at making a serious Godzilla movie by far. But X Mechagodzilla, right? That's what we're going up against.
Yep.
I'm not a huge fan of that movie because they sort of did this weird creative thing with Godzilla where he just sort of stands around and takes missiles. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, but the first, when the army engages him, he just takes all the missiles. When Mechagodzilla first engages him, he just stands there and he just gets his ass beat, which is great. But I don't know. It's again, they do this sort of idea of life versus artificial life, and should you use the bones of these creatures, and where were the Mothra twins in that movie when they should have been throwing a fucking yellow flag down on that play right away?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I don't know, it just, and the whole somber girl thing, that trope got beat to death in the Millennium films, and it became kind of redundant. But the score is amazing, and tying it into the Showa era was kind of cool. But 14, man, when they killed Cranston, it just sort of, I don't know, just they just fucking dropped the ball on it. But I know that movie had a troubled production history as well. And yeah, I agree with the end. The last 20 minutes are fucking amazing.
8 minutes that he's in there.
Yeah, the 8 minutes
is dope, right? It's dope 8 minutes.
Yeah, and I think everything they did in that 8 minutes pretty much inspired every new Godzilla thing that happens now. With the fins lighting up, I mean, it's kind of been done to death a little bit. But I don't think you get a -1 without this movie, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm going to vote for 14.
Whoa, shit. That's an upset then.
Another upset.
Yeah,
Dude,
I never
23
would have seen you do that. But yeah, wow.
Anthony,
If it was SOS, it would have been opposite, but I'm not a huge fan of the first
Anthony's
Kiryu
is
movie.
the right pick.
Yeah, I would have picked 14 as well.
Yeah, okay. That's an upset there. All right. We got 2 more brackets in this first round. Anthony, here you go.
Yes.
Number 15, Destroy All Monsters versus number 18, Terror of Mechagodzilla. This is hard. Why is this hard?
So Destroy All Monsters is another movie as a kid I could just never get my hands on. And I saw a ton of previews for it, and I was like, that looks like the most insane movie ever. As a kid, I wanted to watch that so bad. And I saw it, and I really enjoyed it as a kid.
Okay.
Terror of Mechagodzilla, Ishiro Honda's last Godzilla film.
Yeah, 75.
I love Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go into a long spiel. All I'll say is Godzilla has one of the most badass intros ever. Dun 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 dun. Terror of Mechagodzilla. Dude,
Okay, he gets the pick. That's one pick.
Nice.
And I got to take this over to Ruggs because he's a big Mechagodzilla fan. Let's see what happens. I think I know. Ruggs, 15, Destroy All Monsters versus 18, Terror of Mechagodzilla. This is going to be another upset.
Godzilla's really not in Destroy All Monsters a lot.
Oh.
It's more, he's got to share screen time with all these other things, and then they have to beat up King Ghidorah. And I really not a big fan of King Ghidorah in any other form than in the Legendary. Like, Legendary films made King Ghidorah cool. I think even in the Heisei, he's a little bit better, but like basically King Ghidorah to me is like a wet fart until Legendary gets a hands on it and really like makes him come to life. So, I mean, the only King Ghidorah figure I have is Legendary. And it's a beautiful design.
Yeah.
It's fucking immaculate.
Yeah.
But I'm a Mechagodzilla dude. I like Titanosaurus.
Yeah.
I love Katsura.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's a weird chick. Yeah, the score is great. It's Honda's last film. You got to go with Mechagodzilla. You got to go.
Upset. Another slight upset. 18
Slight
beats
upset.
15. Moves on. Speaking of Ghidorah, I do love an Astro Monster, how you can clearly see the wires on the Ghidorah like several times.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's great.
Because it's
Part
like
of
a
the charm.
puppet. I don't think there's anybody in the suit half the time. It's just like a thing that they're like kind of like
flailing around.
flinging
his arms
around,
and
yeah.
legs.
All right.
Heads and legs flailing. or
They're
tail
just flipping
flailing.
around, yeah, and the neck is just connected. It's great. It's fun to watch. Okay, final matchup in this 32 round. Bilotti, we're going to start with you. Number 2 seed Godzilla 1954 versus 31 seed Son of Godzilla. Is this going to be hard? Is this going to be hard at all?
It's gonna be like the fastest one ever. 54. Next.
Okay.
There's no. I'm not talking about it. It just that is what you get.
All right, Anthony, finish this up. Where are you going to go?
Man, this one. I'll say this real quick. As a kid, I think I liked Son of Godzilla more than 54.
Yeah.
No, I definitely did.
Yeah.
Son of Godzilla or King 54 is black and white. I didn't understand it. He doesn't fight anybody. But 54 is an all-time movie. Son of Godzilla is often on people's worst list, so pick is 54.
Clear winner, Ruggs. I'm sure you would agree also.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, everyone, that gets us down to 16 matchups. We have talked about every Godzilla movie. The choices are going to get harder moving on as we get down to a winner. But first, we are going to take a break here, play some promos, and come back and find out what is the all-time greatest Godzilla movie right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Attention podcast listeners and YouTube watchers. I'm Logan, the host of Mostly Superheroes, a weekly pursuit for the world's best stories with an emphasis on live-action superhero stuff. Every week, join me, PC Mike, The Giggler, Scotty Scoop, and Carrie as we talk MCU, DCU, books, TV, movies, and more. MostlySuperheroes.com is where you want to be. Watch us on YouTube, listen where you get your podcast, and we'll see you Sunday on Patreon. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio. Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee. Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed it's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
And nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show and you enjoy these tournaments, definitely this is a great time to sign up to our awesome Patreon fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And you can give back on a monthly or annual basis, and you get things like there's an exclusive podcast feed you get access to where the shows come out early. There's bonus content, instant reactions, additional movie reviews. You can hang out with us on our monthly Discord, The first one of 2024 will be January 18th, Thursday, January 18th. And you can pick a movie for us to review. You can there's a tier where you get a t-shirt, all this great stuff. You can check out all the details. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, back into the tournament. Wake everybody
Oh
up
my
there.
God.
Holy shit.
Godzilla's
My eardrums are broken.
Now that your ears are bleeding, everyone's woken up. We are heading into round 2 of the Godzilla tournament, and we're going to start it like this.
This new Godzilla is unfriendly, and he's going to destroy your country. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's from 85, right?
There's nothing you can do about this.
That's
Raymond
from
Burr?
Godzilla versus King Ghidorah in 91.
Oh. Is that Raymond Burr? Who's saying that?
No,
I don't know.
that's definitely not
somebody
right.
else.
It's the aliens or the people from the future trying to con them into getting rid of Godzilla.
There's nothing you can do about it. I love that guy. Anthony, we're going to start this round with you, all right? Maybe these
Okay.
matchups get harder. Maybe they don't. First one is the number 1 seed, Godzilla -1, going up against 16-seeded Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. Maybe not so hard.
Man, it is not super hard for me, but I have a lot of nostalgia towards Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. I think that's a fucking awesome movie.
Sure.
You know, the orange breath, the sacrifice, the baby Godzilla's done pretty well here. The score is great, but the whole reason we're doing this tournament is because Godzilla -1 just
it's amazing.
Reinvigorated my love for Godzilla. The pick is Godzilla versus -1.
Okay, Godzilla versus -1? That's not a movie.
Excuse me. Jesus Christ. It's Godzilla -1.
That's the sequel, is Godzilla versus -1.
He should fight -1 in this
Godzilla-
one. Godzilla -1 is the pick for me.
Okay, let's go to the Mechagodzilla fan. Ruggs. Godzilla -1 versus Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. Any is this hard?
Yeah, the only criticism of -1 that I have is that there's math in the title, and I don't like that.
Don't make me
I don't like have to do
subtract.
math when I'm trying to pick a movie out. Let's like Anthony said, I'll echo his comments. The Heisei film has everything that I love. It's got the most Godzilla screen time of any movie that he's in. He's in it a lot.
Whoa.
He dies, he comes back, he's got the fucking orange breath. It's great. It's a great fucking movie. It's one of the, if you're gonna watch a Heisei film, I think that's one of the top 3 that you can watch, and then you should definitely check that out. But -1 is a movie you can pretty much have anyone see. Like your mom can see it and like it.
Your mom can see it.
Yeah, Imran's mom can see it.
Your mama.
I don't like this. And she's like, this is
You would
good.
like it. Like, there's not enough,
Yeah.
there's not enough samosas in this movie.
Yeah, but like literally anybody who likes good movies can sit through this movie and get into it. It's got whatever that movie magic is, where it sucks you in with, and it's got like this riveting, these scenes that are just riveting, and you're like, and you really get invested in it. And I think you can't do that with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. You have to be a Godzilla fan. You have to be like a nerd, like Godzilla nerd, to really like that. Sit through that movie and really like it. I remember I was in a theater full of nerds when I watched it on screen, and it's all people who love that movie. I think one guy dragged his girlfriend to see it, and was sitting in the seat in front of me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell she's not a fan.
She was not happy.
Yeah, she was like looking at the watch, getting up every 5
Why did
seconds.
that look? We're like, why did you
So,
bring me here?
It's decisively -1.
-1, of course. Moving on. 2-0. Bilotti, I'm sure you would concur, right?
I concur.
Yeah. All right, Bilotti. Speaking of Bilotti,
Hi.
let's start with you. Maybe this one's harder. We got the number 8 seed, Godzilla versus Ghidorah, Smog Monster, versus the number 9 seed, Mothra versus Godzilla.
Ooh. They both have something to say. And Bilotti likes Godzilla movies that have something to say. Shit. It's not as hard as I'm making it out to be, but it's definitely something I never would have put as a matchup to each other.
Yeah.
It's my choice is Mothra versus Godzilla.
Oh.
But, you know, pour one out for Hedorah because, you know.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet, but I know where it's going.
Still has a chance.
I know where this goes.
Okay, Mothra versus Godzilla, 1-0. Anthony, gonna throw it to you. You got psychedelic smog
well,
monster.
we know where Hedorah's going. He's going to your local trash can to eat.
Oh, no.
That's where he's going. And he's also going to the trash after this because he is out. Mothra Godzilla.
Told you.
Godzilla is the pick. I will say, when Hedorah's great design, all the different forms, and when Godzilla is just beating the shit out of him and then like taking his balls out and fucking crushing him, like that's brutal shit. So
Yeah.
good fights, but the better movie is Mothra versus Godzilla.
I would like to acknowledge the multiple form concept sort of pretty much started with Hedorah.
Mhm.
And Mothra vs. Godzilla didn't have that. Mothra vs. Godzilla was just, like a fight movie, basically, turning to the people that they've screwed over to help save them sort of scenario. So, I just want to acknowledge that, multiple forms started with Hedorah.
9 beats 8. That's kind of interesting, but it's a close seated. Rugs. Here's the next one. Number 5 seed, GMK Giant Monsters All Out Attack, the longest title I've ever fucking seen, versus 21 seed King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, that's easy.
Is it?
I'm gonna wait. King Kong versus Godzilla, the 1962.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I want to go with GMK.
Oh, okay.
GMK is kind of cool. So it's got Baragon in it. Demonic Godzilla. I like it.
Okay, I'm not sure who to go next. I think Bilotti. I think I want to know what Bilotti thinks.
Okay.
Might be easy. 5, GMK versus 21, King Kong versus Godzilla.
GMK.
Well, okay. This is fairly
GMK.
easy. But, Anthony, is that quick decision for you too?
I would have put King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right. Well,
I'm not the biggest. I'm not a big GMK fan. I know that the people really prop that movie up. Not a huge fan of that movie, but it's
all right. Well, let's start with you this time, Anthony.
Yes.
Number 4, Godzilla versus Destoroyah.
Yes.
Versus 13, The Return of Godzilla.
These are both really good Heisei era movies.
They're both
good
Heisei.
movies.
First and last of the Heisei is going up.
Yeah,
against
first
one
and
another.
last. Return of Godzilla. Sometimes I think his design, he looks like he's like cross-eyed. So kind of, I like the design sometimes. Sometimes I don't like the design in Return of Godzilla. That being said, yeah, Return of Godzilla is a really good, serious Godzilla movie. Some good miniatures. When he falls into the volcano and lets out that screech, it's like heartbreaking. But Godzilla vs. Destoroyah is like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, man.
I fucking love this movie. My pick is Godzilla vs. Destoroyah.
Getting your vote.
Ooh.
1-0.
Shit.
Man. Now Bilotti's hemming and hawing. I feel like I know what Bilotti's going to vote. I was going to go to Rugboy, but I think I'm going to go to Bilotti. I think I'm going to go to you, Bilotti.
So Destroyer versus 85.
Yeah.
Well, not Return of Godzilla, rather.
Correct.
4 versus 13.
I fucking love Return of Godzilla. Like, I fucking love it. Everything, the miniatures, the music, the directing, the characters. Destroyer's good, but the music is great. The designs are great. There is the scene of like the Bandai Destroyers skating around the set. But I do like Junior. Junior's badass, and I like the aggregate Destroyer design. There is that aliens homage scene that's in it, but my pick is Return of Godzilla.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
All right. Bilotti puts it in a tie. I'm glad I went to you next then, Rugs. Rugzilla, it's up to you. Tiebreaker. Number 4, Godzilla versus Destroyer versus 13, Return of Godzilla.
This sucks because when I was making like a top 20 list, and these would flip constantly.
Yeah.
Because I love they're in my top 5. All right. So I love both of these movies. I don't know which one's better. It's hard for me to decide. But I'm gonna go for the another thing where like I'm going to try and see which one I watch more. It's Destroyer.
Oh shit! Okay,
Yeah.
you're picking
Thank
Destroyer.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
Number 4 seed.
I would have been really upset.
But I love them
Moves
both.
on.
I'm just going on which one I've watched more and like which one I will watch. If it's on, I'll watch the because I know. I mean, I don't know.
It is an easier watch. You're right about that. It's easier.
Man, I was nervous.
Oh my god! I thought it was going to go the other way. That was good. That would have been a
I
huge
was very
upset.
nervous.
It could have. It always depending on what criteria am I going to make my decision on. Is it which is the better movie? It's 84. Which one's a better like evil Godzilla? I like that. And like where the sets are cooler is in 84.
Okay.
Like the cinematography, everything's better in 84.
All right.
But yeah.
84 takes it. Rugs, this one is suited for you. This one might hurt. Let's find out. Number 14 seed, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla versus number 30 seed, Godzilla versus Kong 2021. Yeah, you whispering to yourself. Your boy Mechagodzilla up against Godzilla.
Motherfucker.
versus Kong Legend.
This is wow. What do I do? Is it
Mechagodzilla in both movies, technically.
What do I do? I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have.
I broke him.
I'm gonna say Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Oh shit! Okay, well that's the higher seed.
Yeah,
it's the higher seed from 74.
I really love Godzilla versus Kong though. As far as a ridiculous movie,
yeah,
with great visuals. But I mean, we're talking about the creme de la creme here at this point.
Yeah,
like, they're all good.
These
like
choices,
none of these movies suck. Yeah, they're
these
all
choices are going to get harder. And
yeah.
I want to know which way Anthony swings on this. This is what I'm curious about.
This is
you get the second pick.
This is tough because they're both like kind of the same, like in terms of just bonkers, fun, crazy. Like it's just one is in the 70s and one is in 2020.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So you've got the advance of technology, but then I mean Mechagodzilla. Dun, 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 like such a weird theme. Dun, 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 and then Mechagodzilla is badass. The way he can turn his head all the way around and shoot all. I love this fucking scene where he's shooting everything he's got at Godzilla and King Caesar, and they're like trying to like protect each other and shit. Yeah. They're like falling over. But man, I really love Kong versus Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus King Kong 2021. I really like those fight scenes. I was riveted. That was another movie where I was like, oh, I'm back on Godzilla. Like, this is awesome. This is exactly what I want to see. I don't care about the humans. Man.
And they didn't interrupt the fight scenes. They finally realized don't interrupt the fight scenes.
In fact, they give you first person point of view of the fight scenes, which was amazing.
Here's what I'm going to pick. I think Godzilla versus King Kong or Kong, when they team up and they fight Mechagodzilla, I think that's fucking awesome. I love when they like grab him and throw him through a building. But you don't get that Mechagodzilla if they don't make Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Oh, shit.
So the pick is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Oh, shit. No Cinderella story for Godzilla versus Kong. It is out. 14th seed. Moves on.
Listen.
Very good.
Both Mechagodzillas, I'd rather look at the old one than
the old one's way better.
Yeah.
All right, Bilotti, let's start with you.
All right.
Number 6 seed, Godzilla versus Biollante, going up against the 11th seed, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Biollante against King Ghidorah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Heisei.
Yeah. Biollante.
Oh, yeah?
Easily.
You like that one?
That's a really easy one. Yeah.
Godzilla versus Killer Plant.
Yeah.
Okay. Rugs.
Well,
throw it to you.
Which one is it? It's
6 Godzilla versus Biollante versus 11 Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Oh, I'm going to choose Biollante because it makes my hair soft.
Conditioner?
It's such a great conditioner, Biollante. Yes.
Have you used your Biollante today?
Yes.
Silky, your hair silky smooth.
If you're going to pick one, I think the one that started the new era of the Heisei design.
This one came before the King Ghidorah.
Yeah, and it was a little more serious in tone, and there was that whole psychic aspect of Godzilla, which was cool. They introduced that shit in there.
Yeah, that's Mickey's debut.
Yeah.
All right, Godzilla versus Biollante. Moving on, Anthony, would you have gone that way?
Probably, but I really like Godzilla versus King Ghidorah too. So I'm a little sad to see that movie go because that movie is wild. That's a wild time travel movie.
It's great.
King Ghidorah's origin with the Dorats, like what the fuck is that? That's there's so many crazy things happening in that movie.
Makes no sense.
The cyborg like skating really fast towards the camera. Like, come on.
What is even happening? Skating cyborgs. Anthony, here's your matchup. Number 23, Godzilla 2014 versus 26 seeded Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
Godzilla 2014 versus
Space Godzilla.
I love Space Godzilla's design, but amongst the Heisei era films, it's probably the worst. Godzilla 2014. I know that they cut away from the monsters a lot. I know the humans get kind of shitty once Cranston dies, but there is some amazing fight choreography and scenes. I mean, when Godzilla shows up, when they cut to Godzilla in Chinatown in San Francisco, and you see his tail like come in front of the camera, and then the smoke, and then you see
whole
like
red
the light
smoke bit is amazing.
Yeah, and the light like lights him up, and it's like, dong, and it's like, and the way Gareth Edwards shoots the monsters or whatever he's fucking doing is just so good. Yeah, I really like Godzilla 2014, so that's my pick.
That's your pick. You know, it's even cool in Monarch, the flashbacks we get on that bridge, right? Like every time they show that.
Oh yeah, the bridge stuff. I mean, it's just good.
Okay, Bilotti.
Yeah.
Godzilla 2014 versus Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
2014 versus Space Godzilla. Well, the characters are definitely better in Space Godzilla.
Oh.
They got that much better than 2014.
There's more Godzilla in that one, I imagine.
There's a lot more. It's to the point where it's kind of like overdoing it just a little bit. Where you
have that crazy like general guy like chasing Godzilla all around trying to kill him with like a bazooka or something.
Yeah, that's the one I was telling about earlier. He's the one Alpha Revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great character. But even like the love story with like Mickey and the other guy, like when I rewatched it, I was just like, well, I'm kind of compelled by this. This is interesting. And 2014, like, I don't know, it's like a bunch of wooden characters aside from Serizawa and Cranston. But oh god, this is a tough one. Because I'm going to pick shit.
Man.
This is a tough one.
I broke Bilotti. Great.
I know.
Love when this happens.
I know, because I don't want to give it to the Americans. I don't want to give it to them.
Right? I know.
No, we know that.
I know how you feel about that.
But I'm going to have to give them this one. Yeah.
Oh, an upset!
Shit, sometimes. Wow. No, it's not an upset. Actually, the 2014. Wait,
upset
2014.
for Bilotti.
For Bilotti, it's he's upset.
I can't give it to the Gaijin.
Giving it to the legendaries. 2014. Moving on. Very interesting. Okay, last bracket in the round 2, 16 round. We are going to start with Rug Boy. Number 2 seed Godzilla 1954 versus number 18 Terror of Mecha Godzilla. I don't think.
Jesus Christ!
Is this hard?
You don't have anything without the first one, so you gotta pay respects to 54. The other movie's way more fun, and but the Godzilla, everything that we are talking about would not have happened if they didn't come up with this amazing idea.
Sure.
And handle it when the music and everything is there, like the oxygen destroyer, the political intrigue and the message and of the peril of the Japanese people. It's all there. And we don't get -1 without that either. So it's 54.
54, of course. I mean, doesn't even matter who I go to. I feel like Anthony, you want to take second pick?
Oh, sure. I love Terror of Mecha Godzilla. I like Titanosaurus. I like the way he roars. Like, he's got like a whine. You got the mad scientist. You got you got Mecha Godzilla's getting his head pulled off, and then you have the mini head underneath. He's like, because that's what he does in the first one. He pulls his head up, but this one, he's got another head.
I got it.
They're waiting for it.
I was ready for that one.
Yeah.
Terror of Mecha Godzilla is a really fun movie. 54 though is an all-timer, an all-time classic. The shit on like Odo Island and his head appearing above the mountain is so iconic. I mean, there's so many iconic things. So 54.
Of course, Godzilla 54. Moving on. Okay, that brings us to round 3.
Run! It's Godzilla!
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God, my eardrums.
Here we go, round
My dead
3.
grandfather heard that.
Let's see how hard this gets. Rugs, we're starting with you. The number 1 seed, Godzilla -1 versus number 9 seeded Mothra versus Godzilla.
-1.
Okay, that's easy.
-1, it's easy.
That's easy. Bilotti, I'm going to go to you. What do you think?
Oh, don't fuck with me on this one.
He loves Mothra.
You love Mothra
versus Godzilla. I love it. I heart it so much. But against -1? Shit. Oh, that's a tough one. God, I hate you.
Come on, Robo-Balls.
I know. I'm going to go with -1.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my pick.
Okay. That moves on. Next matchup, Anthony. Maybe this gets harder. Number 4, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Now going up against number 5, GMK Giant Monsters All Out Attack.
GMK, Godzilla has a pot belly.
Okay.
So the pick is Godzilla
body
versus
shame
Destroyer.
him. You got a fat shame. Your pick is Godzilla versus Destroyer.
I love Godzilla vs. Destroyer. I've said this over and over. I can't gush enough more about that movie. That movie is an all-timer for me.
Yeah.
GMK, I actually was disappointed watching. So Godzilla vs. Destroyer is my pick.
Godzilla vs. Destroyer.
Godzilla faces the devil. He faces the thing that killed him. I mean, it's poetic. It's Godzilla dies. They handle his death so perfectly.
Satan is
so good.
Mephisto?
It's the culmination. I mean, it's just If they ended Godzilla there, I would have been happy.
Okay. Rugs. 4 versus 5. Destroyer versus GMK.
He gets revenge for his kid.
Destroyer.
I think Destroyer is more fun for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
2-0. Moving on. Bilotti.
Good. I didn't have to campaign anymore.
Bilotti, what would you have picked?
GMK.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Shit.
Yeah.
Should have went to you.
People really like GMK.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, we're talking about the best of the best here.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Bilotti, here's your matchup. Number 6, Godzilla versus Biollante versus 14, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Ooh. Mechagodzilla 2 or 74?
The original.
74.
Yeah. Oh, no. Fuck that movie. Biollante.
Oh, really?
I went on my Mechagodzilla rant before. You guys know I hate that movie.
Yeah, he went on that, was that last week or
fucking tangent, yeah. I don't like that movie. And I know we're talking about Godzilla movies and you could pick apart any of them, like it's like punching down, but that one is just like a fucking insult. Like a total insult. I'm not gonna go into it again, but just know, Biollante.
All right. Rugs. I'm gonna go to you now. Godzilla versus Biollante, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Who you got?
I already chose Biollante for my perfect hair.
You did. Now it's all smooth.
But Mechagodzilla is one of my favorite characters.
It is.
This is the introduction of Mechagodzilla.
Yep.
John hates his movie, so I can really piss him off by picking it. So it's an easy decision. Biollante.
Oh, it is Biollante. 2-0.
Wow.
Anthony, what would you have picked just for shits and giggles?
I would have leaned Biollante too.
Okay. Well, Anthony, let's start with you. I don't think this one's hard. Sorry. Number 2, Godzilla 1954 versus 23, Godzilla 2014. Made it this far.
Did not think we would get this matchup.
Right?
Okay, so Godzilla 54 is clearly like the better film. If you were to ask like a random person to watch both, I think they would actually like Godzilla 2014 a little more.
Sure.
Unless you're not like a film. If you're really into film, then 54 is going to be your pick. But Godzilla 2014 is more fun. Again, that final 20 minutes where it's just monster chaos in San Francisco is really, really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 54. I can't put if I'm going to pick something over 54, I really have to feel strongly about it, and I can't do it with this one.
You just reminded me. I'm sorry. You just reminded me of something. When I had 2014 on, I think it was at my parents' house.
Yeah.
And they were watching it with me. I think my dad turned to me. He's like, it's a fucking Godzilla movie, and he's not even in the goddamn movie.
Yeah.
I went, yeah, I know, Dad. So thanks for the memory, Tony.
Hey, no problem.
Okay, well, Ruggs, I'll go to you next. What are you going to pick?
You want to know the fact is that screen time for Godzilla in 2014 is very much keeping in step with his
screen time into 54.
Yeah, almost the same amount of screen time.
That is interesting.
Interesting.
Almost the same. I mean, he's usually in a lot of the movies for maybe like 10 minutes. So is it 9 minutes? Is it, is it really going to make a difference?
But it's how they go about shooting the screen time.
And the thing about 2014 is that he shares the screen time with the Mutos. So there is another 10 minutes of Muto action in there as well. So like you do get like 20 minutes of monster stuff of like in it, but the movie's like 2.5 hours long. So if the movie was maybe a half hour shorter, it wouldn't seem like you were going to these long periods without seeing anything.
Yeah.
So I just want to point that out, but I would go with 54 because we don't have anything without 54.
Of course.
2014 is a great movie for a random person to see, like a random person who's got nothing in the game, no interest in Godzilla. I would show them that movie probably first. Yeah, this is more entertaining.
Okay. 50,
but it's not better.
Yeah, 54. 54 moves on, and that takes us to our final four here, fellas. Anthony, we'll start with you again.
Okay.
On the one side, comes down to number 1 seed, Godzilla -1, versus number 4, Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Oh, man. Let me just say I love both of these movies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Fuck. Let me just... Godzilla versus Destroyer. Let me wax more poetically. But this movie, I mean... You have different forms. He fights the devil. You got different forms of Destroyer. You got a flying version.
Design is wild.
Look at that fucking thing. That is a stuff of nightmares.
It's like crabs.
With the final form when he shows up, when they fight, he's like towering over Godzilla, and Godzilla beats the shit out of him, and he starts coughing up his own blood. And then
he's way bigger than Godzilla.
Way bigger. And Godzilla fucking doesn't care. And he just fucking gets in there and brawls with him. And Destroyer fucking is demonic. I mean, he fucking picks up Baby and drops him and kills him, and Godzilla can't. And then the line where Mickey's like, this is going to be Godzilla's last fight. Oh, like they build up. That's the way to kill Godzilla. Like, they do it so well. I mean, I cried after this movie. That was a kid and I was crying. God. Godzilla vs. Destroyer is amazing. Godzilla -1 is also amazing. It is a movie that casual fans can watch. It is a movie that, like, anyone can see and be like, wow, that's really good. And Godzilla -1 has... amazing, like they did something amazing. They have a riveting human plot that I actually gave a shit about watching the human characters. And I love the line in that movie where he's trying to convince Takibana to come in, and he's like, the war's not over for us, and you know it, or something along those lines.
It never ended. Yeah, it never ended.
You know the war's not over for us, or something. It's never ended. I was like, that's such a great line. And then the speech that the doctor gives about like fighting to live. And the moment when Takibana tells him that he's put an ejection seat in there and that you're fighting for more, don't die, basically. Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's good.
Yeah, I was afraid that this matchup would happen. I really want to pick Godzilla versus Destroyer.
You can if you want.
I had to pick Godzilla versus -1.
Oh, -1.
I have to.
-1
it's better. But it's close.
Wow.
One is like a film that anyone can watch. The other one is like, if you've been along for the ride for this long, if you've been along for the ride and seen every Godzilla movie, and then you watch Godzilla versus Destroyer, you're like, that is the end game of Godzilla movies. It was like a perfect culmination of everything you'd ever seen.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to take this one to, man, I think either one, I think I know how it's going to go. Bilotti, let's just go with you. -1 versus Destroyer.
Well, I'm not going to go on a sales pitch like Tony has for Destroyer. Jesus. It's so emotional. It's almost as emotional as watching -1. It's like that kind of emotion when he talks about the movie. I love it. -1 and Destroyer. It's -1.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Ruggs, which way would you have gone? Probably the same, right?
Yeah, I'll go. -1 is such an achievement.
All right.
That I think that Destroyer is an achievement for the in-genre Heisei Godzilla films. Is an achievement in that, right? But if you look at the larger scope of filmmaking, I don't think it's as big of an achievement. But -1, like it really delivers on so many levels.
Yeah,
like on just quality period. You know, it looks cinematic. It doesn't look like a B movie. It looks like it's keeping up with the movies that are coming out, you know, and there's even in the water scenes, it's almost like exceeding what you see on, you know, in other movies. So it's great. It's so good that it needs to be commended.
-1 enters the final round uncontested every matchup. Let's find out who it's going to meet. Ruggs. Here's your matchup. Number 2 seed, Godzilla, 1954 versus number 6, Godzilla versus Biollante makes it to this final four.
I'm going to say 54. Just because like without, like I really think that 54 is like, it's hard to like put it below another film, I think, because it brought so much to the table and changed the whole entire genre, created this genre. And it's still like a lot of movies struggle to do what the first one did in the same way. And yeah, very tough.
All right, Anthony.
54 versus Biollante.
Biollante.
I love Biollante.
You do.
I don't love it as much as I love Destroya in the movie, but I love Biolante's design. You know, in Godzilla versus Destroya, Godzilla dies, right? You know that, right?
Yes, I believe you mentioned that a few times.
And they freeze him,
Yes,
and it's
and
amazing. And the music.
devil.
Oh, wait, we're talking about Biollante.
Oh, that movie's out.
Biollante. That thing's a menace too, and that thing's bigger than I always loved when Godzilla would fight opponents that were bigger than him.
That's another crazy adversary. It's a giant.
That's a crazy ass adversary with the tentacles.
Yeah.
I really like Godzilla versus Biollante. Great Godzilla design. I think they even play up like that. Godzilla and Biollante are like related. Like I think they're like brother and sister, kind of, which I always thought was a kind of an interesting play too.
No.
Because Godzilla's cells merge with a flower, merge with the the DNA of a.
It's like Swamp Thing or something.
Sort of, yeah. But yeah, I mean, 54 is just an all timer. You don't get there without that. And
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I'm going to pick something over 54. It has to be great. And yeah, I'm not.
I had a feeling. Bilotti, what would your vote have been here? 54 moves on.
54 a Bio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could watch Bio more than 54, but if you sit through the entirety of 54, you are rewarded much more than Biollante. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So would you have picked 54, of course? Yeah.
I would have picked 54,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. That takes us to the final round.
Jesus.
Okay. Uncontested entries facing off for the grand prize. The number 1 seed. So the number 4, the top final 4 was Godzilla -1, Godzilla versus Destroya, Godzilla versus Biollante, Godzilla 1954. Godzilla 54 -1 enter the final round, both winning.
You know that Godzilla fights the living embodiment of the Oxygen Destroyer? Yeah. You know that?
Is that what happens?
I think that's the Roadhouse of this
That
tournament.
might be. That made it all the way through.
Because there's not one Showa film aside from the original. I really thought Monster Zero or Destroy All Monsters or whatever would make it through. Really surprised.
I will give the honor of the first pick to Anthony since this is his first time in the tournament.
Thank you. This was definitely something I thought about because I figured this would kind of happen.
I knew this was going to happen too. This was my prediction.
And when I say Godzilla 54 is 1 and -1 is 1A, I actually believe that.
Oh.
I think these are both really, really damn good films.
Ooh.
Films that anyone could watch. Well, not anyone, but if you enjoy cinema, these are great Godzilla films, all-time Godzilla films. What's harder? Is it the original idea or is it reimagining the original idea 70 years later?
That's a good question. That is a good question.
And making something fresh out of the original ideas. You know,
that's what they did.
Had a lot of different iterations of Godzilla, and -1 is an achievement, but so was Godzilla 54. 54 was an achievement, and they both have deeper things and deeper meanings. 54 is about the horrors of nuclear testing and what man could potentially unlock if they continue to do this, and -1 is more about like the horrors of war and They both have great human characters. You got the love triangle in 54. You got -1. You've got the family that comes together and the friends. Dr. Yamain is great in 54. You got sacrifice in 1. You got because you got basically an Oppenheimer allegory with the sacrifice.
Yeah.
The other one's about not sacrificing. Fuck.
They're both post World War II, dealing with that same kind of
10
time
years
period.
after the war. The other one's right in the war.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
You don't get -1 obviously without Godzilla 54.
Right.
But the movie I will watch more often in my life will be -1, and that is my
shit!
pick.
Whoa.
I'm picking
shit.
-1 or Godzilla.
I mean, that is the top seed, but I didn't know which way this was going to turn out.
-1 because
-1.
it reinvigorated Godzilla.
-1.
Is it harder to take the old idea and put a new twist on it? I'm going with that.
Who should I go to? Oh, man. I think I'm going to go to Bilotti.
Oh, hi.
For the second pick, 1 seed versus the second seed. -1 versus 54.
Not easy.
Look into your heart.
Not easy.
Look into your heart.
Anthony is correct.
Reflect.
You don't get -1 without 54, right? And 54, well, -1, it's sort of a remake, but not really. And one of the nitpicks I had about -1 is that when they're on the island in the beginning and they talk about the natives but don't show them.
Okay.
Whereas 54 goes heavy in the paint with the natives, which is probably why -1 didn't.
Do you have any nitpicks on 54?
I mean, I think I have more nitpicks for -1 than 54.
Okay.
The convenience of the oxygen destroyer having to, that, but it's part of the plot of the movie where it's like Godzilla is the walking nuclear weapon and we have a weapon more dangerous. And before that weapon can get produced, like mass produced, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Whereas -1, there's a lot of the Spielberg influence that the Spielberg stuff that I hate the most is the coincidental stuff, like the convenience of in the plot, stuff like that. And -1 has a lot of that.
There's some Jaws in there, sure.
Well, no, it's not so much the Jaws. It's like the what's her name? Noriko is on the train.
Right. She happens to be right.
She happens to be the one that survives, happens to land in the ocean, happens to survive, he happens to get knocked into the one alleyway that doesn't get destroyed. Like he happens to be the one guy that could have killed him on the island, and now he's the one that. Like, there's a lot, but I still love the movie. My pick is 54.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Tying it up, Rugs, you get to participate and decide the all-time greatest
look at this.
Godzilla
the
movie.
The fate of the entire tournament
the whole
rests on
universe.
me.
Yes,
Go with your heart and not out of spite,
the
please.
universe.
Yes.
The fandom is counting on you, Rugs.
It's going to be
this
good.
This is a very bad position to be in right now.
Talk it out.
People are listening to this and they're like, this motherfucker chooses the wrong thing. I'm going to fucking complain.
It's all on you now.
And I'm going to fucking light up Twitter and everything.
Please do.
Or the nation. It's going to be a fucking crazy thing if I say the wrong thing. But that's what I do. I usually say the wrong thing. When I watch a Godzilla movie, I ask myself most of the time, like, is this the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen? Is it the best movie I've ever seen as far as this subject matter? And when I saw 1984, I was like, this is a pretty good Godzilla movie.
54, you mean?
No, 84.
Oh, okay. No, never mind. Keep going.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is pretty good. Is it better than 54? I'm like, nah. 54 is the originator. You wouldn't have it without it. And then I finally saw this -1, and I was like, well, wait a minute. This is a fucking great movie. This is almost, is it better than 54? And in a lot of ways it is. In many ways it is. But still think Like 1954 was like something that, listen to this. It's been around for 70 years.
Yeah.
Like you don't get there without this idea. -1 is an amazing film and in many ways is better than 54. But guess what? It did not create this whole entire franchise. It does not. It is riding on the coattails of all that came before it. All the mistakes, all of the things that people have tried to recreate that first movie, the feeling of the first movie, and failed.
Yeah.
So
it's cheating.
54 didn't have any help. 54 was like, all right, we're going to take our personal tragedy that happened and we're going to use like a monster to represent it. And yet there's this movie with what is it? The beast from the 20,000 Fathom.
Yeah.
That kind of was the influence for the movie, like that sparked the idea. But I mean, we don't talk about the beast of 20,000 Fathoms. We don't. We talk about Godzilla.
Is 54 like the birth of the man in suit style of everything, right?
And even -1 kind of uses that feel in its Godzilla. It didn't do like a giant iguana or something.
Right.
So like everything that's working in -1 is working because 54 laid the groundwork, and in all the other movies that laid the groundwork. So I'm gonna have to go with 54, even though -1 is probably going to get more new people into the fandom and get more accolades than if it wins an Oscar, it's going to be crazy. Did Godzilla 54 win an Oscar? I don't know. Did it?
-1 is up for visual effects.
Something like Japan, but I don't think it was nominated for anything in the U.S.
Yeah.
So you're picking 54. The winner in a contested 2-1 race is Godzilla 1954. We did it.
Can't be mad at that.
No, either one of them. Like, I may have voted for -1 as far as like entertainment value and rewatchability.
It is an excellent film, like, what do you do? Like, someone who champions originality, like myself.
Yeah.
How am I gonna go and pick something that's already been teed up for you?
But you know? Everything you said about 54 is right. Anthony, what do you think? Number 2 seed better than number 1 seed?
I mean that. It's the right pick. I think it's also, there's no wrong picks, but yeah, I mean, I think that one,
the OG
probably should have won. -1 is just such and 54 is the same, but -1 is just such an achievement. I mean, it's just the way you feel after that movie.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
54, when 54 ends, you're like, man, that was a really dark movie.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Really, you're bummed out about life.
Yeah.
Like when -1 ends, you're like,
it's hopeful almost.
I'm ready to live.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
If I just withdraw my vote and leave it as a stalemate, how was that?
No, 54 probably. No, that was I think that was the appropriate ending.
I think it's right. Yeah, that's great.
That's
fun
a good
journey.
You know, Godzilla films are awesome.
Yeah,
and then this was fun.
That's I think the big takeaway is there's something for everyone. When it comes to
how far
Godzilla.
did Shin make it?
He didn't make it out of the first round.
Shin did not make it out of the first round.
That's surprising.
The number 3 seed got beaten by Godzilla vs. Kong, 2021 of all movies.
I made a list of my Godzilla top 10 Godzilla movies. You want to? Should I run them down?
Yeah, let's do it real quick.
So I have in my list, I have -1 on top.
Oh wow!
Right?
Whoa!
I got 54 in the second spot.
Wow.
Then I got 84.
Okay.
2014 and number 5 is Destroyer.
Oh wow!
Tony likes Destroyer.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yes. Then I
Did
got.
you know he fights the devil?
Then I got Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla.
Which one?
1.
Okay.
Then I got Godzilla versus against Mechagodzilla, or Godzilla the 1990s Mechagodzilla. Okay. And then I have Godzilla versus Kong 2021.
Oh yeah,
at 8,
number 8. GMK as my number 9, and number 10 is Shin Godzilla.
Oh, Shin Godzilla makes that.
So Shin made my top 10.
Oh wow! You know what's cool about the late, like, they're not always good, but like I like that Toho. I don't know if they're going to keep doing this because I don't know if they really ever plan anything. But I like that the Reiwa era is like they're letting different directors put their own spin on Godzilla. Like even though I don't really care for Shin Godzilla, I respect that they like let an artist
do that.
Take the property.
They're trying to go for diversity of product.
Yeah, diversity of ideas. Like you watch Shin Godzilla, like that's way different than anything. And then this one, also, has like its own spin and its own feel, but also calls back. Like I like that they're doing that. I don't know what their plan is moving forward, and if they're going to continue doing that shit.
They didn't like it enough to give him like a second movie. They were like, "That's okay."
There was some talk that they were going to, but there was something with the schedule or something like that.
Oh.
There was chatter of it, but they were just like, no.
Well, I thought about adding in the 3 Netflix movies or whatever, not Netflix, excuse me.
The
animes.
Just to be like every movie, but then I was like, I don't want to torture myself and watch those 3 movies.
No,
they're
they
awful.
don't need.
Yeah, I tried to watch one.
They're awful.
They're bad. But I was going to ask you.
Yes.
Do you think I had this dumb idea while taking a shit the other day.
Nice.
But
that's where the best ideas come from.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think they could take the Monarch TV show and edit it down to like a 2.5 hour movie and make it cool?
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, the Monarch TV show is just so
it's
drawn
overinflated.
Out. Yeah,
it's overinflated, but it's got some okay stuff in the 50s.
The 50s stuff is the best stuff.
If they could figure out how to like condense all of that and edit it down to like a 2.5 hour movie, I think it'd be.
Let's see where it ends. This last episode was wild, but we'll talk about it next week.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about. You got Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire coming out next year. That's
definitely going to be number 1.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it's going to win.
Overtake -1 for best
you got
movie of all
Pinkzilla,
time.
baby.
Pinkzilla is coming. Barbiezilla.
I'm so like I don't even know how to feel about it at this point. Like I'm hoping it's good.
Hopefully it's just
I'm the same way.
Fun.
I'm hoping the action is so good.
Lottie, real quick, do you have a quick top 5 that you could do or top 10?
Yeah, I just wrote it down.
Okay,
54 -1, 84 GMK Multiverse Godzilla for top 5.
Okay.
What'd
you do, Anthony? Top 5.
Destroyer.
Destroyer.
No. 54 -1 Destroyer. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Or Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. I like that one a lot. And then Biollante. I'm a big Heisei era guy.
See, I love that despite the top 2, like you guys' lists are so different, which is
I love the Heisei
what's
era.
great about all the Godzilla movies.
Yeah, the continuity is the best part for me. And the
Heisei
design
era
of
is-
Godzilla.
I love the Heisei. I like Showa. I hate the Millennium era for the most part. And the Reiwa era has been interesting.
I'm afraid that the Reiwa stuff is going to turn into the Millennium era because it's cool. I know what you're saying. It's cool seeing different filmmakers, but at some point they're going to write themselves into a wall because Shin Godzilla is one way to do it. -1 is another way to do it.
Now what do you do?
Well, what the fuck else are they going to do? So if they don't, I read an interview with the producer in the Japanese version of GQ, and they were like, we're not going to rush something out until we have the right director, the right story.
Oh, it's going to take years.
Yeah, they're like, we're not going to rush it just to rush it. However, I know they created something called like the G Committee back in 2019 to figure out like a way to. Yeah, this isn't Toho. It was like a bunch of people like in a room figuring out like what to do with Godzilla. So they did, the anime came from that.
That sounds awful.
-1.
I think they should take the Gemstone Godzilla and do a movie, like a 70-minute film, and like do like voices and human characters and all that stuff. Because I love Gemstone Godzilla. I love Junior, the new version of Junior. It's fucking amazing. And like I'm surprised they're not doing more with that.
Vladi, we got to get you into that room where it happens. You need to be the liaison to the Toho G Committee.
I'll do my best, but I highly doubt that.
Get in there.
What do you think they're going to do, Bilotti, real quick?
You know,
think they're going to continue with. Is there any hope for a -1 continuity, or is it
Godzilla's square root of pi? Should be
what
the
I
sequel.
heard back in 2019 was that they wanted to do basically what they already did in the 60s, but they're using the Marvel movies as their inspiration, where they wanted to do an interconnected universe. And if you look at -1, it kind of can set up that, you know. And the director of that movie said he wants to do a sequel. He loves Godzilla, and I think they should make him like the Feige, to like a Kevin Feige or like a Jon Favreau.
Yeah,
and think about it, like they could do a standalone Mothra movie next, and they could really lean into the atomic bombing of Infant Island. And because they played that up pretty heavily in Mothra vs. Godzilla, but you can go even deeper with that shit, right? And then you could do like a Rodan, you know, and there's like the two Rodans, like they're basically mates, and like one of them dies and sacrifices himself. Like there's a lot of shit you could really lean into, but they just have to pull the trigger. So I honestly don't know, because I think in 2019 they had a plan, and then COVID happened and it changed stuff. But I think with this movie, I think it just hit $80 million worldwide.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think they can go either starting a new series with this movie, which I think they should, because I love everything about it, or they do another one-off. But at some point, you're just, I don't know. Like I said, you're going to sort of run out of origin stories, and you're just going to, I don't know. Like this was, like they really had to stretch to get this story, if you think about it. Like, you know, Shin Godzilla was a reaction to 311 over in Japan.
Right,
you know,
the
like
Fukushima thing.
Yeah, the Fukushima. So this movie was like kind of like getting blood from a stone. It's like, well, what the fuck? Like, what do we do now? And they had the idea, which was making it a prequel, which is kind of genius, you know?
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot of creativity to sort of do like another one-off. But
81 million worldwide. Right
yeah.
now.
So honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. If I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where. I mean, we'll get Godzilla vs. Kong, New Empire. Then I don't know what we're getting next. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen after that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we need to see aliens.
Aliens
in the MonsterVerse. I think it's
in the
time for
MonsterVerse.
Gigan. Yeah, I think it'd be great if the MonsterVerse went into like the alien shit, because that would be wild. But as far as a -1, do I want them to come up with something new, or do I want them to just retread old things? I like a new monster. I like when they did a Biollante and a Destroyer, and a Space Godzilla. I like the new monsters. I like when they kind of don't go back to, because certain things that they can do. I mean, you could probably do a King Ghidorah well now, or we've just seen it already in King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do that. Like, do something different. Like, do something that's going to be cool, that it's going to be memorable. So it'd be cool to see that. Come up with a new fun thing that we haven't seen before, and let Godzilla have a fight something that he could actually tussle with, grab onto, and he's going to evolve. He's re-evolving from like a piece of himself, right?
Oh yeah.
So he could evolve even a more different form.
Yeah.
I would still keep the general feeling of it, but maybe you could tweak a few things and make him look a little bit more badass. But I mean, he looks great. So
wide open future now.
Yeah, you could do a lot with it. Yeah. I wouldn't retread. I would try and go for some new stuff. Bring something new to the table.
All right, Anthony, thanks for putting this all together. Lots of fun. I did enjoy hosting it.
Good.
I'm glad you got to participate.
I'm
Bilotti.
glad I got to as well.
Yeah, I bet that had to be fun. That was perfect. Bilotti, tell the listener what you got going on, where they can find all your shit there.
Well, I got Kaiju Brooklyn 2 coming up June 1st of this year, 2024.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we secured a movie for screening, which I think everyone will be very, very excited about.
Nice.
And we'll have some,
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome, actually. But yeah, we have a lot more planning to do. We're going to start going into nitty gritty this week and beyond. But yeah, we're trying to go a little bit bigger this year, trying to give people a little bit more bang for their buck. So we'll start making those announcements as we, progress through the winter and stuff like that.
Where will those announcements be?
Right now, primarily on our social media pages, which is basically just Kaiju Brooklyn at Instagram or Facebook, and Twitter. It's Kaiju BK.
Okay.
We're working on a website, so that'll be a priority. We're also doing a podcast for Kaiju Brooklyn.
Oh, very exciting.
Yeah, so we're going to start recording that this Saturday coming up, actually. We're going to do kind of like a Joe Rogan shooting shit kind of podcast about all things Kaiju Brooklyn and the world of Kaiju and all this stuff. So that's what we got coming up. And then my own Robo 7 stuff. I have a bunch of new Ultraman t-shirt designs coming out. And I guess I can make the announcement here. I haven't really made a formal announcement, but I will be making officially licensed Ultraman shirts for the Netflix animated movie coming out this summer.
Wow, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So, yeah.
Get some of that sweet Netflix dough. I like it.
Yeah, and the director of that movie actually bought one of my Ultra 7 shirts over the summer. Yeah, he's a really cool guy, huge Ultraman fan. So,
oh man, that's exciting. That's awesome.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I got to draw the damn shirt, so I'm still working on that part about it. But
yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, that'll come.
I just put in my calendar to maybe be in New York that weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, Anthony, you got to make it down there. That would be
we're
awesome.
definitely, one thing I can announce is that we're going to do a kickoff party the night before. I won't say the name of the place yet until we, finalize all the minutia of it. But we're looking to do like a DJ and have drinks and food, and we'll do a screening the night before. And
is there going to be Godzilla blood to drink?
No, it'd be so much cooler than that.
Listen, there's nothing more
as long
fun.
as there's Gamera blood, though.
There's nothing more fun than a room full of drunk Godzilla fans. Let me tell you, it's a blast. I've been there.
I will say this about New York, and I don't want to shit on a certain Midwest Godzilla convention, but New York is a very populous city, probably the most populous area in the United States, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we get a lot of cool, like, urban kids over here. Yeah. Like they're Godzilla fans, but you look at them and you're like, oh, you can't even tell they're Godzilla fans. Whereas you go to other shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
more diversity out there.
Yes, there's more diversity. Like we had,
sure.
We had this female Ultraman Tiga cosplayer, and she was very shapely, and I was very surprised to see that. And we had like a Dai Ranger, which is a Japanese Power Ranger, a cosplayer, and the dude was pretty legit. So we, That's awesome. And like you looked at our crowd, and you're like, there's a lot of just like we had someone from, you guys know Elle Magazine?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had like their chief art director came to our show. Yeah,
of Elle Magazine. Holy shit!
Yeah,
okay.
he reached out to us. He was asking for press passes. We were like, yeah. So we got a lot of cool people.
Get their
man.
attention. Yeah, they might do a write up. Get them.
We
to
like
do a
being the as a friend of mine described, like the cool jazz club of the kaiju convention stuff. Believe it or not, so it's
I'll have some competition if I show up because when I go to the one in the Midwest, I know walking in I'm the coolest guy there.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit. There's guys with tattoos at this one.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, this is gonna be more interesting. I just want to watch Anthony at this thing navigate.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "What do I do?"
I'm gonna slump into the corner, and I'm not gonna have a role. I'm just gonna I'm not the coolest guy here.
It's a cool crowd. It was a cool crowd.
There's guys wearing Hemleys and shit.
Man buns and fucking hipster hats. I don't know.
No, you get podcasters, filmmakers, actors.
That's awesome.
What are those shoes everybody's wearing? They're like you slip into them. No, not Crocs. They're like the new. No, there's like the even newer than that. Anyway, fuck that. I thought you were going to be able to rattle it off.
All right. Well, look, all those links and information in the episode description. Check it out. That's it for this week, Rugs. Where can the listener find you?
On Twitter at Really Rug Boy.
I'm not going to ask where they can find Anthony. It's not important.
Okay, good. I didn't have anything.
It's your mom's house.
But yeah, he's at your mom's house. But the most important thing, listeners, share this with your kaiju friends. Share this with your Godzilla group. Spread the geekery. We'd appreciate it. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I really don't give a shit.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is It's Godzilla!
Thing I offered you a chance to be a cop, and you blew it!
Jock and Nerd!
And you blew it!
He threw that in there right at the very end.